Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 522. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only, the man with a freshly shaved beard. It's Too Fresh Crash.
I hate you sometimes.
What the hell did I do?
That has nothing to do with your comment right there. I just want to let you know this sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Fair.
And of course, the man on the ones and twos and his beards going grey is Paul D-Spawn.
That's what I get for hanging out with you guys. It turns me grey.
Some would say it's Xbox's fault that you're starting to go grey. Not as.
I'm 21 years old. What the hell is happening to me?
If that's true, we're all in trouble. We're all in trouble.
That's true. Yeah, it's 100% true.
If you are new around here, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast right here on youtube.com/My Xbox and Me, and of course, all podcast services. If you would like to support us financially and help the show keep going on a regular basis, patreon.com/MCFixer. You've got a bunch of different tiers. You've got the MC Fixer tier, you've got the MXAM tier, and then you've got a Patreon producer. Patreon producers, we've had a couple of new ones. They might not have been added. I want to just give a quick PSA. I will add it onto the end whenever you stop being a Patreon producer. But if you want a certain name, you need to name your Patreon account that. Otherwise, it's just going to say Sam, which I'm absolutely fine with. But are you okay with that? So putting that out there. Just putting it out there. I did reach out to people via Patreon, but I got no responses. So check your Patreon messages. And if you didn't get one, let me know. Boys, topic of the show this week. Do you know what? Before we get into topic of the show, Crash.
Yeah.
How you feeling this week, dude? How are you?
More level-headed.
Nice.
Still very sour on everything that happened last week. That feeling's for sure still there. Not quite to the extremes that it was. I'm on this week's podcast. You know, that's a good sign, right?
I mean, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Well, there's plenty to talk about as well. So it's even better sign. D-Spawn, you feeling any better after last week?
Yeah. Positive, no. Better, yeah. Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah. It's a hard one, right? Because I love talking about video games. I love like spending time with you knuckleheads, but man, I also love talking about things I enjoy, and I don't enjoy talking about last week's news stories. I don't like seeing them. I don't like that that's the state of the industry, and it doesn't make a fun time.
Surely this week nothing is related to last week.
Oh no, this week's going to be great. Yeah, I know this week's going to be just sunshine and roses. Fix, do you want to tell us what the subject is of this week?
The topic of the show this week, guys, is do you think AA games are dead because of Game Pass? No, all the jokes aside, we got a few questions coming in about Game Pass, and obviously Game Pass is in the news quite a lot at the moment due to some things being said by some developers, ex-Microsoft developers. But Torrentress says, is Game Pass going to eventually follow the path to streaming services like Prime/Netflix? Those services sold the idea of watching what you want, when you want, without ads. Now they've brought back ads and are charging people more money to remove them or pay more money for better quality. They weeded people out of the cable TV only to turn around and do the same thing. Xbox has already changed Game Pass to a tiered level where only premium subscribers can play all Xbox games day one. They also sell DLC for Game Pass games. What other changes can they make to squeeze more money out of Game Pass subscribers? Will there come a time where you can play most of the games for free, but you'll hit a paywall and you'll need to pay more money to see the real ending of a game or to unlock the best skins for a character? Interesting question. Where do we start? I think, yes. Go on, please.
I was just the ending bit about skins. You already see that the case,
sure,
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, not skills. Skins is already a pre-order bonus or in some sort of loot box / pack opening plus battle pass / whatever you want to put it in. That's where that side of things are. So that's already squeezing more money out of people. Please, Spawn.
You already get it as part of Game Pass. You get exclusive perks from Game Pass where they will give you skins in games.
Yeah, but you can
but I
get
think
those
Trent
in
touch
other
points
places.
is
You can get them in,
no.
but
There's some that are like fully exclusive.
yeah, there's
Really?
been some
To Game
Xbox
Pass. Yeah,
specific
there have
ones.
been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was an Xbox one for Sea of Thieves that was just part of the Game Pass perks.
There was a
Yeah.
Fortnite one. I remember there being a Fortnite one actually because I got it at an event and they were like, "This is really rare." And I was like, "Okay,
Cool.
dude, I don't care. Could I sell it like CS:GO? If not, who cares?"
Yeah.
No, I do think you make some good points. I think the point that you're making about them weeding people out of it's a learnt behavior, right? You're teaching the customer base. No, you don't need to pay X amount of dollars/pounds. You can just play on Game Pass, and which is technically true if that is how you wanna play your games. There is a way of doing that, but yeah, I think we've already seen it though. I'll be honest. I think that change has already happened because of the tier system. I don't think there's much more they can do. They can raise the price. And we had that. I remember us a long time ago having a deep conversation about like what is our breaking point on price point compared to rewards. And I think some of us said about $25 was like if it gets anywhere near to that is when we're like, hold up a goddamn minute, this makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think there's much more they can do. Like the DLC thing, I'm not upset about. Like it doesn't bother me as such. It's additional content that wasn't there day one. That doesn't really bother me, and especially for smaller titles. I'm not talking so much from a AAA perspective, but for smaller titles, it's a smart way for them to like put their game in Game Pass, get you hooked on a game that you really enjoy, and then make even more money from us, the customers. Where it doesn't feel like I paid $40. I'm only paying $20, but obviously you're paying more than that because of Game Pass. But yeah.
Yeah. I think the answer to that is moving stuff around to different tiers. Like right now for PC Game Pass, for instance, you do get day and date games. That is not going to be there forever. At some point, if PC Game Pass catches up to Steam in any way possible, any notable way, that will move to the Game Pass Ultimate tier. I don't think that stays its own tier. It's so long as Xbox is behind in that front that's going to be a thing there. And then also with streaming services, once streaming gets bigger, streaming is it's expensive. And if all goes how Matt wants it to go, I know Matt's not here to talk about it, but if streaming becomes the main way people play games, that is a very expensive thing that I could see being in a tier of its own, maybe not Ultimate adjacent or something like that, a higher tier. Or you just see an Ultimate increase where that's more expensive. It's like, yeah, it's more expensive, but you get streaming with it, and streaming's expensive, and they'll put out like a statement about like cost of streaming is higher than we anticipated or whatever. BS claim that they make.
Yeah.
Not BS, but
No, it is BS.
Whatever.
I mean, no, I guess you're right. It's not BS, but it's let's try and pull out our customers' heartstrings, even though we're a $1 billion company. See, Krish, and this is why you have to be here because it's no. But now that there's such a different perspective on things now.
Yeah.
Now it's like once upon a time it would have been, oh yeah, but things do cost a lot. Now it's like it doesn't matter if things cost a lot. You're a $1 trillion company. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like
not only are you a $1 trillion company, you're a $1 trillion company who operates, maintains, and produces the infrastructure to run this already. So you already get the big discounts as it is. It's like, no sympathy.
No sympathy. No sympathy. Origin Cookie Man also added on of why would devs large and small reportedly bring their games sequels, e.g. High on Life 2, Lonely Mountain, Snow Riders, and franchises, e.g. Yakuza. Again, you and your brackets, you do my goddamn nothing. Yakuza, Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed to Game Pass, if there was no business case for it. Who's saying there's no business case for it? We know what the business here is. Go on.
The way this conversation popped off was from the former Arcane Studio head, making the claim that Xbox Game Pass isn't sustainable, et cetera, et cetera. And I think there's a little bit of context missing from the point he was making, which is that it is games launching day one. on Game Pass is harmful, which you can view either way. And as much as you want to bring up examples where it does work out, there are examples where it doesn't. We can always go back to People Can Fly's game, Outriders, where they were openly against Game Pass and said that ruined it. And the conversation there is like, there's a difference between publishers being profitable and developers, and that distinction is somewhat important in a lot of these conversations. And then also some of the games that you bring up, Origin Cookie Man, your Yakuza's, Final Fantasies, and Assassin's Creed, the only times those really launch day and date is when they are first launching on Xbox, and they haven't been, and the games have been out for a very long time. Otherwise, they don't launch day in, and they come out like a year later or whatever the case is. And High on Life 2, also you can ask the question, which none of us know the answer to, when High on Life 1 was signed on, was there a deal with Xbox where it's like High on Life 2 will be Game Pass day one regardless? You know, there are stuff like that where it's like, we don't know the contract, so it's hard to like really make hard assumptions about a lot of stuff with this.
Well, here's the assumption, right? The assumption is, for High on Life specifically, let's just go on for no contract and all that stuff. Like, it clearly worked, and they made enough money from Microsoft to cover their development costs, and it made enough money on PlayStation when it eventually got there, that they saw it as a profitable way to make games. And I think that's one part of the conversation that I think we miss, which is like, for every 5 games that work, there are going to be 6 games that don't work in this model. And that's just how it's going to be. Yeah, we haven't... Back in the day, you saw some big games launch day and day, big games, and I'm talking about from big publishers and stuff, launch day one on Game Pass. You don't see that right now. I can't remember the last game that was... like to that next echelon. I'm not saying that there isn't good games that launch on Game Pass. You've got Wu Chang that's coming. That looks fantastic, but it's not Final Fantasy. It's not Yakuza. It's not Assassin's Creed. It's not, you know, like they're High on Life 2 is a great game to get on Game Pass, but it is a AA game at the end of the day. Like, doesn't matter how you shake that up. It's a AA game by a AA studio, in my opinion. Like Lonely Mountain, you say here. Lonely Mountain is a. I think who publishes that? It's Green Man Gaming, I believe. I think it's Green Man. I might be incorrect about that. It's a tiny studio, and a tiny publisher. Like that bag probably secures them their next deal after that.
Also
indie dev Megagon Industries.
Who published it though? I'm pretty sure it's Green Man.
No, they're self-published.
Oh, they published it as well.
Yep.
Wonder if it was the first game they did. Sorry, go on, Crash.
Also, like a notable thing with all of this, is that what was my point? I completely am blanking on my point. We can go on. It slipped out of my mind.
It was Thunderful Publishing that published Lonely Mountain.
Okay.
So yeah, I was wrong on that. Yeah, I mean, I just think the topic of it being unsustainable. Yes, I do, and I do think it is unsustainable. I think, do you know what? Forget the unsustainable. Let me go back. My biggest issue with Game Pass isn't even Microsoft's fault. It's the consumer's fault. Because the issue is, we see certain games that come out now, and they go, oh, I'll wait for that to hit Game Pass. And that is an issue. That is an issue in itself. Like, and don't get me wrong, I think this is why we're seeing the decline in like Marvel movies as well, by the way, and things of that nature, right? Because once upon a time, you went, and Marvel movies have not been great lately, so I can totally understand it, and I think that plays into my point in a second. But once upon a time, a Marvel movie came out, and you had to go to the cinema to see the new Marvel film. I don't care if it was Ant-Man or if it was Black Panther. It didn't matter what it was, because it was a huge blockbuster moment, and you didn't want spoilers and things of that nature, right? That was just how it was. There's so many Marvel films that I wouldn't have went to see, but Guardians of the Galaxy obviously being the key one for me. Didn't know who they were. Ends up being one of my favorite films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then slowly but surely, they got the streaming service, and then you see how quickly the turnaround is then for something to hit the streaming service, that you go, oh, maybe I don't need it. Maybe I'll wait. And all it does is it casts a little bit of doubt in the back of your mind. And as soon as that is there, it's done. From a consumer perspective, as soon as you put a little bit of doubt in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, I can wait and get this quote, quote, for free. It's not free. You're paying for the service still. They're still making money. But that I'm not giving hard-earned cash over to a cinema. is that barrier to entry is so much easier, right? I'm paying $8.99 instead of me and Haley going and paying £30 for the cinema. And I think the same thing has happened for Game Pass. Like, there are too many games that come out, like AA, good quality games, and that just people sit there and go, oh, that'd definitely be on Game Pass eventually. Or, and not just Game Pass, by the way, there's PlayStation Plus's version of whatever they do as well. But like, and this has been happening for a really long time now, and I think now we're starting to see the effects of it. I mean, now slowly but surely, developers, publishers are starting to see it go, oh yeah, this is having a bit of a knock-on effect. Now, you've got the good examples of that where it does help sell games, and we know that's not entirely true now from Microsoft as a whole, but I do think that is a point to be made.
Yeah, no, for sure. I also think an important thing to look at with all of this is part of Xbox canceling all these games, I would assume. Again, we don't know the information, we don't know statistics. I would assume is also part of them going like, hey, this money we've put into Perfect Dark and all these other games, we could just go and not gamble something ourselves and go and pay that AA developer for the game that they're making so it pops up on Game Pass. Less of us risk, it's cheaper for us. And the downside of what's happened with Game Pass is when Game Pass first came out, I look at Gears Tactics, and today Xbox would never make Gears Tactics.
They wouldn't have to, right?
Would.
They don't have to. Is the other point.
They'd go to they'd go to AA or whatever. And when Game Pass was first a thing, I remember us talking about it. One of the big things about Game Pass was like it gives Xbox this room to like trial and error with some of their franchises and make games and like really bring that to the forefront, where that is seemingly going away. And that is a negative, and it's not a negative, and it doesn't make Game Pass a negative overall, but it is a conversation piece that I don't think you can necessarily ignore when you're talking about Game.
I think not even going away is, with all of what's just happened, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Like, Xbox taking risks. Look at, if we go, we're not going to right now, but like, if we went through Xbox's portfolio now, what's the risk? Name me one game right now that we know that's a risk. You could say the new IPs, Clockwork could be a risk. Like, that you could potentially say that's a risk, but other than that,
yeah, is that really a risk at the moment though? Because it's like, it looks, no shade thrown, but it looks quite a lot like a lot of their other franchises, and it's like it's an easily sellable commodity. So
it's
like comparing it to everything
does
else,
well on Xbox. Yeah,
it's like, oh, look at this, it's a first-person Western RPG with like cyberpunk elements. Oh, that will not fail. I think the other like the argument at the moment is, or not the conversation we're having at the moment is Game Pass to blame for a lot of the downfall? And I think something that not a lot of people are talking about, which I think is going to start coming up more and more, is I don't think it's an Xbox specific issue. I think it's a Microsoft issue at the moment. Like, we talked about it briefly in chat today, where this all is stemming from Microsoft specifically and their push for AI. So it's been reported in the news recently that the deal that Microsoft had with working side by side with OpenAI is kind of falling through. So Microsoft are kind of pushing Copilot a lot more. There's been reports where it is now a necessity to use it at Microsoft rather than it just being an optional extra. So Microsoft have apparently put $80 billion into infrastructure for AI. That money's got to be made back somehow. Because I'm telling you right now, your Microsoft Office Online subscription isn't going to bring all that money back.
I think Jez Corden and Tom Warren had a exchange on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, about unfair or like unrealistic expectations being put on X.
Yeah, so there's
after the Activision merger. So that's another thing that you have to look at. Like it for sure, Game Pass isn't to blame for everything that's happened. It is the higher ups at Xbox and Microsoft that are to blame.
Yeah, of course. And when we say, look, all the blame that we put on anybody, like, we're talking about the bigwigs here. We're not talking about the everyday developers,
for sure,
the studios and things of that nature. Just so just in case anybody gets it misconstrued. But yeah. No, Game Pass. I don't think Game Pass should be the villain. I do see the internet dunking on a lot of Xbox influencers and media for being you know, us included, I think, like we bought into the very much the hype and the happiness when Xbox were buying all these studios, and now you look at it and you see the graveyard that's been left behind from it. So yeah, I'm interested to see where the industry goes at the moment, but as a whole, I don't personally think Game Pass is to blame for everything.
No, and we've heard success stories from that Game Pass. Like we had it up on screen a short while ago, but like Liza P was a good example of like they got a deal, that new studio that no one had heard of, came out with a brand new game and got all the Xbox marketing push behind it. They've just shadow dropped a new DLC a few weeks back that everyone is loving. As far as I'm aware, and it's just like that's nothing but a good story for that
Crash
studio.
is loving.
Crash is loving. Yeah, the rest of us
only
will play
opinion that matters for it, baby.
True. Yeah, but it's like we see, like say we mentioned High on Life earlier. Like there are success stories that definitely come out of Game Pass, and we've heard stories of how independent studios have survived on the money that they get just from being able to be in Game Pass, and that they get the budgeting funding up in advance. And it's just like, there are risks, and I think the problem is like the overheads are becoming higher or becoming shorter and shorter for a lot of people. Like that margin for return. Like there's only infinite amount of people to spend an infinite amount. Well, there isn't an infinite amount of people to spend an infinite amount of money on video games. Eventually, they will hit a limit, and I think we're starting to see that soon.
Well, yeah, we're definitely seeing it in some way, shape, or form. 100%. Boys, let's move on to what's been in our box this week. I'll kick off just because I've had nothing new. More Rainbow Six, still playing every single day, absolutely loving it. I'm currently sitting at Silver 3, I think I got back to in ranked. Currently main in Dokkaebi and Legion. Sometimes if I'm feeling myself. I'll play
rephrase that.
I'll play a cab. I'm playing Dokkaebi is the character that phone calls people to know where they are. And then Legion puts down these little mines that have needles in that then poison people and they can die as they go down.
Both those characters, so
yes.
Yeah,
really,
no. So those are my mains. Yeah, no, still really enjoying it. Still really loving it. I don't. By the time this goes out, even Patreon, it'll be announced. I am planning a big tournament, the Creator Rumble, which is happening. Oh god, I actually don't know the dates. I'm a last minute addition. So look it up or check my Twitter if you haven't already. But I'm planning a big tournament with a bunch of different. I think it's like 50 different creators, and we're going to be playing for a prize fund of £10,000. So that should be very interesting.
That'll pay for an idea.
Yeah, I don't. No, well, I'm only getting. I think it's shared between 5 people, so I'm not going to get the whole 10K. But nonetheless, it's a cool opportunity. And big shout out to the community for people who did see my tweets and stuff like that. We kind of, I tried to say this to people all the time, but like, an engaged audience can do crazy things on the internet. And I don't think people quite understand. So for those who don't know, I wasn't a part of this tournament. I wasn't included. I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't hosting. I wasn't doing any Ubisoft on this. I saw there were 2 empty spaces, 2 question mark spaces, which either they were going to be surprise entries or they hadn't filled those spots. So what I decided to do was I saw that their tweet only had like, I think it got like 30 replies. On their tweet. So what I did was I told my entire Twitch channel to go there and tag me and say, where's MC Fixer? And let's just say, after about half an hour of relentless, where's MC Fixer, where's MC Fixer, where's MC Fixer, a conversation was had. So that's what I always say. Doesn't, and this is to anybody out there, it's not just gaming. If you have a dedicated audience of people, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, you haven't got to be Kaisen that to get everywhere in life, right? You can do a lot in this industry, in any industry, because they want to trade for attention. Companies, any company, doesn't matter if it's toys, video games, art, bottles of water. These companies want your attention. They feed off it. They make money off it. That's what they do. So shout out to the My Xbox, the MXN, the MC Fixer community, because you guys are amazing. And every time we come together, we do some really cool things. So thank you. I do appreciate every single one. Your voice matters, and it helps more than you. And that's why I always tell people, liking, retweeting, following, sharing, it goes a long way. So thank you. You're the reason I'm a part of this. So thank you. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. I did sit down. I did sit down to play the altars this week. Unfortunately, my Xbox downstairs has stopped working.
Oh.
So I don't know if any of you have had this issue with your series. You've got an S. These people, you've got an X. For some reason, my series, I have to always put to my HDMI thing. I have to put my console in reset mode, the resolution reset mode, or I just get a black screen every single time. Oh, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. I ended up taking my other Xbox. I know. Wow, I've got two Xboxes. One's Haley's, one mine. Haley's one's not. I know. I don't need the jokes anymore. Leave me alone. So I ended up taking it downstairs and I installed it. But you know what it's like? You know when you're in the mood to do something, and then there's that one barrier to entry that just knocks it all off. That's what it is for me. So I went to sit down, play Yotas, and ended up watching boot sale videos. So
fair. Yeah, I haven't gone back to it yet, so I couldn't tell you.
Is it good?
What I played at the time was good, but then other games got in the way, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Fresh, is it good?
You think I played the altars? No.
You suck.
No. It's a horrible game. It's from my experience playing it, it's a horrible game.
You haven't even played it. It's
Exactly.
crazy talk.
From his
crazy
experience,
talk.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about what you have been playing, Crash. What have you been up to?
I've been playing the first Berserk Khazan.
I
jumped back into that. I had started it whenever I forget what came out around when it started it, but I remember it pulled my attention away. It's gotten a lot of updates.
Patches.
I don't know why. I just completely blanked on the word. My mind kept going to the word buffs, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, Khazan is pretty buff.
Yeah, he is. That's correct. It's gotten a few updates that have fixed some quality of life stuff for the game. I'm not noticing any of the quality of life stuff because I didn't really put anything other than summoning before. The way summoning worked in that game is, who have played Lies of P, it's kind of similar to that, but significantly worse, where you need an item to summon when you go into boss fights. Now you can just summon something. You interact with it outside of the boss fight, and then when you go in, it doesn't take a resource anymore, which it previously did. They added transmogs for outfits, so you can have whatever gear you want equipped and then look however you want, which I always think is a big plus to games like this. I'm enjoying it. I think I needed some time away from Night Rain and Lies of P before I touched this game because it's not quite at the level. I think it's a very good first step for the game. I think visually the game continues to look very impressive. It looks like a graphic novel. It looks like you're playing through, which I adore the visuals. I really like it so far. If you are interested, I'd say wait for it to go down a little bit in price if it's something that you're like super interested in but are kind of on the fence for.
That's actually where I'm at with it. I played it. I went to a Samsung event not too long ago, and I got to check out their new 3D monitor, and they had this game running in 3D. So all the opening where you've got the snow particle, all that stuff was all coming at you and stuff. Looked really cool. Played it there and was like, I really want to play this. And then I looked at the price and was like, I really don't want to pay that much for it though. Was my big issue. So I'm obviously I'm looking to book a holiday really soon. I'm hoping it goes on sale before then so I can play it on the plane because I feel like it would be a great playing game for me on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
For anybody who is curious, I think they have a demo available, and I think you play the demo, and that'll give you a good sign of like, oh, I like this enough that I'll play it right now. The rest of the game apparently will basically be just more of that, or it's like it's not for the price point, or whatever. I think that's a very good way to judge it.
It is technically on sale right now. Special promotion for 47 hours. It's come down from $49.99 to $39.99. Still too much for me. I need it at around 35. I would have been happy with. Maybe I'll pick it up. Maybe I'll pick it up. Do you think it'll be a Game of the Year contender? Fresh.
It'll be in my top 10 list, I think, but I don't think it'll be a Game of the Year.
Crash, that doesn't speak volumes. You only played about 10 new games this year.
You think he's played 10? Come on.
I don't even know.
I definitely have not played new games this year.
So yeah, everything he's played is in his top 10. So that's not.
I know. I can guarantee you, I'll find games if I think a game doesn't belong to be there.
Fair.
Jesus Christ. Anything else?
No, I don't believe so. That's it.
Despawn, what you been playing, my dude?
Nothing on Xbox, but I can talk about what
Ooh.
I've been playing if you want.
Please.
So I'll talk about the thing that you will be interested in, and then I'll talk about the thing that I'm interested in. So the thing that you'd be interested in is a game called The Midnight Walkers. So they just
Walkers. Okay,
recently had a technical test where they were testing out their servers, a bit of a stress test. It is a first-person melee-based extraction zombie survival game.
Huh.
Yeah, so it is very much like that whole. It's exactly what it sounds like. Think Escape from Tarkov, but with melee weapons. You are basically locked in a tower, of like block of flats. I don't know what you call them, high rise. And each level has a different kind of like layout and theme. Like one layout will be like a disco themed one. There'll be another one that's like a garage. There'll be another one that's like an office space. And you go through each level, and each one is like you're just going through getting weapons and items, and then you've got to escape out of the tower block to take those weapons back to your base. And it's one of those things where, like, if you die, you lose everything. You know, your typical extraction shooter stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The combat is your typical first person. Like, it's not like very action based. So it's like every swing is like you have like your attacks have to be quite methodical with how you're attacking things. You can get easily overrun if you get like 2 or 3 zombies chasing you. It's all very like slow moving zombies just like ambling towards you. They do a lot of stuff with like sneaking it around so that you can sneak past zombies if you're really careful. But you've also got to plan that out with how much time you spend on a level, because throughout the round that you're playing, certain levels will get closed off. So that level will no longer be available. And if you're on that level when it gets closed off, you've got like 60 seconds to get like to the one working lift or elevator in that on that level. And yeah, it's quite interesting. It's PvP as well. It's a PvP VE, so you can like you can squad up, you can run solo. I do like the fact that they have separate modes for each, so it's not like you will be a solo player running up against 3 other people. But they do have the thing where you could meet up with someone and just like randomly squad up, like
help each other.
Yeah, so I ran into one guy and he was fighting 2 or 3 zombies, so I took out the zombies with him, and then we just started going around and looting, and that was pretty cool. And then we found a way out, but then another one, like I opened a lift door and someone just came running in with a machete and killed me. So, you know, your typical extraction shooter shenanigans. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I think it looks like there's a lot along the roadmap of what they've got showing on. Looks like there's a lot going in there. So like you can upgrade weapons, you can craft things, you collect different items, which will then like give you kind of a skill tree thing. I don't know when it's due out. Like I said, they're just doing technical tests at the moment.
Q4 2025 is what it says on the Steam page currently.
Cool.
To buy them really quickly, yeah, it looks good. UI looks very much Tarkov-y. Which was exactly what you'd expect. The one thing I will say, this is definitely, you're 100% right. This is 100% a me game. Is the technical test over? Because on here it still says you can play it at the moment.
If you requested it and got in, I haven't tested it today, but
oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think I've already requested it. You must have told me about it already. It looks really good. I like the look of the mini map as well, because my big gripe of Tarkov is you are just complete and utterly lost. And I kind of like the fact there's no guns.
I think there may be guns, but like it's one of those like super late level things. Like you have to be like a high level to like unlock the ability to grind to that point. So the thing is like obviously you get weapons, melee weapons, stuff like that. You can sell them, and then you can craft better ones, and like you can keep crafting better gear. So it's not just a case of you can only find stuff in the world. Like you can, when you come out and bring stuff, you can break things down for materials, and they have like kind of like a not so much a mission system, but like get so much of this item, it will unlock this skill point or this skill tree to do this. So if you want to like specialize and say like I want to be like a fast moving bladed weapon like player, you can maybe like just grind towards that. Or if you want to be like I was running around, because I've got different classes as well. I was running around as a heavy melee type, so I was running around with a sledgehammer and axes and things like that. So you can obviously like grind towards that, so you can get like skill points to do extra damage with heavy weapons. So there's a lot of like not just the min-maxing of like how you build out your abilities, but like what kind of weapons you want to use and things like that. So I'm really enjoying what they've shown so far. I don't want to play too much of it because I don't want to get burnt out on it really quickly with it being early access, with it being a technical test at the moment. But what I've looked through and seen so far, I think there's, I will say when this game comes out, like we should all definitely play it together. I think
it's definitely a me game, 100%. Oh no, there is guns. I'm seeing guns in the trailer. To be fair.
But yeah, like it's like running around, like you're very unlikely to find a gun on the floor. Like it is one of those things where you have to get 1,000,001 pieces of items.
You kind of want that though, right? You need that. You need that end game. You need that reason to keep going out there and keep playing and stuff. So
yeah, and like walking around like this, you've got your basic zombies, but they've also got like big brutes as well. So like I imagine the idea is get to the point where you get weapons heavy enough to be able to take on the brutes. Because right now, if I run in with my level 1 sledgehammer and try to take out this brute, I'm getting squashed like straight away. Like I say, 2 zombies can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, really enjoying it. Looking forward to seeing more of that in the future when it gets like a full release or like maybe an open beta in the future. I don't know if they're doing early access or not, or if it's just going to be a Q4 release. But yeah.
Fair enough.
And then the other game I've been playing, which is my new obsession at the moment, is Death Stranding 2.
Game of the year contender is what I'm hearing.
Yes, very much so. I'm not going to spoil anything because it's not been out that long, but it does. It takes everything from Death Stranding 1 and simplifies a lot of the cumbersome elements of Death Stranding 1. Makes them a lot simpler and streamlined, and just the story is so much more fun. Like Kojima is fully in his bag on this one. Like some of the weird shenanigans. I don't want to swear a lot, but like some of the weird shit I've seen in this game it's cool. Like there's a boss fight in like chapter 6. Not even a boss fight, but there's like a cutscene fight in chapter 6 that's like probably one of the coolest things I've seen in a video game this year. And I've played Expedition 33, so you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, no, it is like it is up there as like one of the best this year. And I think I hate to say it, but like I think it's a must play this year.
Here's my question.
Go.
I've got it. I've had it since day one, right? I've got it. I've been waiting because I've been debating whether to play 1 first. Do I have to play 1 first?
I would say not necessarily. They do have a recap video in the game, so you can watch it to the story so far.
Sure.
So you've got that. The gameplay elements are very easily explained right at the beginning. It explains it really easily. And some of the issues that I had with how cumbersome it was at the beginning of Death Stranding 1, like they really led into your balancing and stuff like that. Like, if you focus on like doing those side missions and stuff, you'll easily unlock abilities to be able to mitigate a lot of that, which will make it easier to play, and like you can just focus on the story and have fun with it. So yeah, I don't necessarily think you need to play Death Stranding 1, but I do think you would. So I think you get more out of it because you get
of course it's a sequel, so
you'd have a better connection to the characters and things like that, and I think that connection hits really well into. But I don't think it's like it's a must-have that you have played Death Stranding 1. I think they've done a good job of making it so you could just jump straight in. Like, I mean, without spoiling any like the major, like you're not in the US anymore. Like you start off in Mexico, and like it's all about like Mexico and then Australia, and like it's taking part in a whole different part of the world. So like you don't have to like have any knowledge of what the areas are in Death Stranding 1.
Okay. All right. I'm still gonna buy 1. I think.
I think buy it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure.
It's on sale. It's on sale right now, £13. So.
Oh, it's worth it for that. Yeah, £13 definitely.
Yeah.
Is that the director's cut version as well?
It is, yes.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
Fresh, why are you shaking your head, mate?
You're never gonna play Death Stranding 2.
Me?
Yeah, if you get one and you play one, you're not gonna play Death Stranding 2.
I'm 100. If these people say I've got to play it for Game of the Year, Chris, I think I don't like. See when the Keeleys come up. See when the game will come up.
Yeah.
And I take my job seriously, unlike you.
I think you're. I think you're
wait,
confusing what I said.
whoa!
Go
Let me
ahead,
land. Don't be talking over me. It's a podcast. How dare you, sir?
Oh, I can't wait for this thing you're about to say. Just go ahead. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I take my job extremely serious. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, to go on the Keeleys when they come up at the end of the year at the Game Awards, and they're like best game, and it's like,
Black Myth Wukong. Fix played it.
that was last year. I'm talking about this year. I'm a new man.
Oh wait, but you were making it sound like I got you misconfused. So I had you right. You're a changed person.
You
found the Keeleys. You found the light of the Keeleys,
Mm-hmm.
and you see. Okay, you know what? Anything I would have said, I take back. You're a new man. My bad.
You're welcome.
New things.
Yeah, I'm gonna play every game that's up for Game of the Year.
Okay. Every game that's up for Game of the Year, or every game that's got the potential.
The thing is, Fix right now likes every game that's up for Game of the Year.
Because none of them are for Game of the Year.
It's Blueprints.
Oh, right. Yeah, that 100%.
Claire Obscure.
Yep.
And what's it called? It's Death Stranding 2. I think those are the only ones that are like really the guarantees for like these will be up there.
Yeah, those are the locks right now, I think.
Yeah.
And I love them all. I've never played Death Stranding in my life, but I love it. It's the best game ever.
Fantastic. Yeah. For sure.
Chris, anything that makes me seem better than you, I'll do.
Don't make me get this game and play it.
Get this game and play it. That's great.
Can we not just game? Oh no! Can't I just give you my PlayStation login and you just play on my account or something? Seems like a lot easier. Gotta be a way. It's got Crash. I'm not gonna play at the same time you're playing. I'm gonna be asleep, so like it will work. You move in tangent.
That's a good point. That's
Crash. We're talking about offline. Don't worry. No one heard that. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
PlayStation did not hear that. Yeah. Herman Holston's coming for us.
Herman's coming. He's like, yo, start a PlayStation podcast, you bums. Anyways, anything else before we move on?
Nope.
Perfecto. All right, let's get into this week's dashboard. Plenty of news to talk about. Story number 1. Perfect Dark. Obviously, a game that has now been cancelled. The developers have clearly are upset because they've come out and said a few things there. The quote that's been flying around is, had some fakery, but quite a lot was legit. This is all in regards to the gameplay demo that was shown last year at Xbox's showcase. Mm-hmm. This was taken from Kotaku, by the way, who, I don't know who they spoke to. I'm trying to get the former developer Adam McDonald. Is who said this. Quote, it's actually in-engine, McDonald said. I was one of the 3 level designers that worked on it. It worked best if you played it the way... Sorry, it played best if you played it the way the person playing in the demo plays it, but it still worked even if you didn't hit the markers perfectly. There's some fake stuff in it, he continued, and the real gameplay system shown off worked just enough to look good in this video. We were rapidly making real design decisions so as to not knowingly lie to players about what the game will be. The parkour is all real. The hacking/deception is mostly real. The combat is real. Real in that someone had to really do all that stuff in the video, but it's all set up to be exactly played that way, and didn't play well if you played it any different. I mean, this is exactly kind of what we already knew, to be totally honest with you. This is a nothing catchy headline, if we're being totally honest.
Oh no, they made a slice of life look at a game to show off a slice of life look at a game. That has never happened in the industry before.
I do think after this game was canceled that stories started coming out, and I don't know where they originated. I could see it being like a Microsoft PR front, or just somebody who knows something, being like, yeah, it was all fake and all it wasn't, like all that stuff, which this statement refutes that. Which I always assume, like, whenever you see a slice of life stuff, unless you see a failure like the Uncharted demo from forever ago where
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, do you
it
remember
fucked
that?
up, and it's like, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oopsie, that there is like some strings being pulled, which you want the games to showcase how the game would ideally look. It's a selling point more than anything. So
I feel like gamers specifically, especially the ones that just want to argue on the internet, have forgotten that these showcases are just gigantic advertisements.
yeah.
Have you ever seen the way a burger is made when you shoot an advert?
Yeah. To this day, I will always look at a piece and go, that's super glue.
Yeah, literally. I feel like we forget that marketing is a tool. That's literally people that get paid millions of pounds to be good at showing you something, to show it in a way that you would want it. Like it could be food, it can be clothing, it can be mobile phones, it can be games. It doesn't matter. Like Fakery is such an interesting way of putting it. As long as it plays eventually when the game comes out, the way you have sold it to me, there's no issue here. Whether it works now is none of my goddamn business, to be honest with you, because I'm not playing it now. So, yeah, so silly to me. But yeah, I think it's just people on the internet at this point, they're like, it was all fake. Microsoft are a bunch of liars. They suck. Yes, they do suck, and they are liars about many, many things. But a gameplay demo, I can't really be here and select them off for that one.
No.
I always remember the E3 days where developers who would play it live on stage, and I was like, I practiced that so much. I was sweating while I was up there that I didn't fuck something up, which is something you always like used to hear. And I guess that we've moved away from even the key threes and the way they are. They're not the same experience as what E3s used to be. There used to see so many more live demos than you do nowadays. And so I guess.
When was the last time we saw a live demo? I can't tell you the last time I saw. You see them behind closed doors where you're not allowed to talk about it, or have no phones, no video record, stuff like that. But you don't see them on stage anymore.
My mind goes to God of War, which I think E3 was still around.
Yeah.
God of War. Yeah, it was.
I think that's the last time I remember a demo being.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just sat here shaking my head. Like, I can't remember the last time. Like, literally, I was like 2 months ago in like LA. I watched a live demo
behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors, yeah. But it's like never seen one. Like, yeah, and that worked great. Like, it looked perfect. Like, no.
Well, I saw Cyberpunk behind closed doors at EGX one year. Same with Death Stranding 1. I saw 2 behind closed door demos of those. But again, it was very much no phones, no video, no, like, literally, like, they say it at the start of the thing, like, this could break, this could go wrong, yada, 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 just sit back and enjoy sort of. Yeah, but we don't get it on stage anymore. I remember back in the day, they used to have 2. She'd have a guy on stage that would be playing, and then someone behind the stage playing the exact same demo in case something happened on stage, that they could change the video feed so it could look like he's playing. Like, it's all marketing. Like, what do you expect here?
I mean, obviously, like, we're just going over a tangent here, but like, you don't need to do that anymore. Like, I don't feel like a game is going to be sold to me more by watching a dude play it, like, on a stage. Like, I've got Twitch for that. I'll just wait till the game's out and watch somebody play it on stream.
That's my job. Get out of here.
That's his job. Get out of here.
Here's what I will say. You lose a little bit of personality. I feel like there was a little bit of the personality from the developers when you saw them on stage talking about playing, and the guy comes out with the remote. And it doesn't...
I disagree,
it's
Crash.
not like
we sat here and we're like, this guy, we literally, the first thing we do is judge them on how they speak.
Yeah.
Because they're not, as someone who used back in the day, would go to EGX and would interview developers. Developers are not made to speak in a marketing sense.
I agree. Shut up and play the game on the stage for us.
No, but that's
shut up and pay the marketing team.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, you're not wrong. I do think it's an archaic. Like, I want to point out, I do think it's an archaic way I'm looking at it, but I still at the end of the day, like,
here's
I
the
feel
thing.
that, you know.
No, but let's put it this way, right? Of all of the showcases that we've reacted to since even just before I've started, but since I started, not once have we ever turned around and gone, man, I really wish there was somebody on stage playing this game right now because it would make it so much better.
I think you're 100% right. What are you about?
I want to pull back. This is way back.
Go on. Pull back that curtain.
Way back. Which game was it? what's the Metro game, Metro Exodus? It was shown off, and it was a completely on the rails experience. Fix and who was it at the time? Was it Joe? I think it was Joe that was on the podcast.
Yeah, probably.
They both bitched about this wasn't a real experience. I want live gameplay of this. Da, da, da.
That was a long time ago, Crash. That was a long time ago, Crash.
That's what these folks saying. When can you? I can 100% remember exactly when that happened.
And that's fun. Yeah.
I've matured since then, Crash. I've taken Ubisoft checks. I now side with the companies and nobody else.
It's with the man. It's with the man.
I'm with the man. I have my seventh yacht to pay off. Come on, duh.
Talking about being with the man, should we talk about this next story we got today?
Yes, let's talk about it. Stop Killing Games has reached 1 million signatures as players continue to fight for game preservation. If you don't know what this is, Stop Killing Games is an initiative that are pretty much, it's all started when Ubisoft decided to kill the crew. That was where it started. Obviously, games were getting killed way before the crew, but I think the crew was the game for some reason. I don't know why. Number one, probably because it's Ubisoft, and then that's it's a marquee studio that makes a lot of money. That is a big studio that people want to hold to a higher standard for some reason, for right and wrong, in my opinion. But that's nonetheless. And yeah, Stop Killing Games started. It picked up some traction, and then it died off. And now it has kind of been back in the public eye again, obviously going over signatures due to the fact the Anthem is now going to be killed off. It's an interesting one, I will say, because we're finally getting to a place where games are being killed off that I either played or cared about in some way, shape, or form. Obviously,
you're a big Anthem fan. Big Anthem fan.
Well, we was. Well, you're joking, but me, Chris, and Haley.
Every time we talk about Anthem, me and Fix constantly echo the sentiment of like the biggest tragedy in gaming happened in recent memory is what happened with Anthem.
Yeah, 100%. Like me, Chris, and Haley played Anthem so much. So much, way more than we should have, considering how bad it was.
Yeah, so I had this conversation at work because there's a few nuances to this story that we're going to get into in a minute. I don't think they're written down here, but I've got some insights. But like, yeah, Anthem was one of those games where it's like such a great mechanic. Like, I don't think any game has ever made me feel like Iron Man more than Anthem did, even beyond an Iron Man game. Like the Avengers game 100%. Didn't even make me feel as much as Iron Man as this one did. But it was just like, I think it's. We'll just talk about Anthem now. Like, such a good idea, shoehorned into a live service game.
Yep.
There's nothing. I have no issue with it being a live service. It was a bad live service.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because it wasn't to start with.
Yeah. Because it was. I think it's the first time where BioWare was like strictly like, you guys are making a game, and that was sort of EA coming down on them, and you kind of had glimpses of that with the previous two games that had multiplayer components, co-op. I think they both had like wave-based and PvE, where you're playing with teammates modes, and this was the first time where it's like they're really, really shoehorning it. That is the purpose of this game.
Go on, go into your nuances though, please, Eastbourne. You know more.
So obviously, Stop Killing Games. I think it was like maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. It was at like half its number, and it ends this month. Is the goal. So for anyone who doesn't know specifically what it is, it's a initiative in the EU. Where if it hits 1 million signatures, the EU like tribunal.
They have to play it to Congress or something like that.
Whatever the EU body is for this kind of stuff. I don't know the specific names, but so it only hit like half its numbers. The guy who had started it came out with a video that basically said it was going to fail. He started blaming some specific content creators, saying that they put out videos and were like bad-mouthing it. Those creators are actually developers, so they had some like nuanced insight into that. And yeah, then all of a sudden the thing went up to 1 million. He came out and said, not all of these million might be legitimate, so keep voting for it because some of these might be fake things. There has been a lot of stuff online of people who are like staunch supporters of this campaign, like attacking people who don't like the campaign. And I think there are some legitimate concerns with it because it is, I mean, the internet, yeah, right? So there are some legitimate concerns where it's like it is a wholesale stop killing games thing. There's like no nuance to it. So like, it doesn't matter the size of your company and anything like that, like what damage it could do if you force developers to keep games alive beyond their means. And yeah, so there's a lot of nuanced conversation around it. None of it really taking into consideration what developers think, the people actually making the games. It's all like targeting the publishers and saying that the publishers should just do it. But it's like, it's not the publishers that make the game. They're just, publish it.
So just from a like on a layman's level of like, I agree with the sentiment. Like, yes. I do think it's sucky that I will never be able to, I probably would never, but it is sucky that I will never be able to play Anthem again. It sucks that I'll never be able to play the Crew again. Like, I remember having very happy memories, me, Haley, and her and the Crew. But would I have gone back and played the Crew 1 ever again when there's many other Crew games that have came out that I can play very similar versions of what I want from that?
Yeah.
I do kind of understand the conversation of why can't we just, for a game like the Crew, say racing game, like why can't we just add an offline mode? You could play Anthem single player, technically. So is there not a way to make but I don't develop games, so I don't know how hard it is to pull out all that live service stuff to just add an offline mode. And I'm sure it isn't as easy as it seems.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of these games, I think Anthem specifically, like their worlds changed. They had cycles that were linked to their servers. So if those servers go offline, those cycles don't work properly. There will be issues with that, and obviously you need to connect to those servers to get into those. Again, with the Crew as well, like online racing and things like that. Granted, there's single player options to that. Like, but this is what I'm saying. Like, there are nuances. Like, each game is different. There will always it's not like you can just like a single player only experience doesn't translate to like you couldn't have Fortnite be an offline only game, like.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we're not out here saying we're going to kill Fortnite, but you can't have an offline only battle royale that's.
But you could. But
if stop killing games was a thing, I don't think we ever would have got Fortnite.
I agree.
And I think my viewpoint with stop killing games is that is my biggest like struggle to get over. I think there's so many experiences you have that are gambles that you just wouldn't ever have gotten to play in. As somebody who's I've played free to play MMOs since I was a little kid. I've had so many experiences with games I love just shutting down. I think that as much as it sucks, I'm more grateful to have played those games than to have never played them. I think the place that this conversation really gets murky is when you get somebody to pay $60 for a game and then you're like, I'm taking the game offline and it's gone. I think what Stop Killing Games should do, the initiative should be for, hey, you are making somebody buy a game in any way, shape, or form. You have to pay $20, $30, $60 to play the game. That game should have an offline functionality ingrained to it where maybe it's not functional now, but if at some point you need to take it off of servers, that can be done. I do know a workaround some people have suggested is like private servers, where it's like you give people the resources to run private servers. There's also like some question marks with that, is like you're trusting to connect to some person who decides to run the private servers, internet connection, and expecting no nefariousness to go down.
Which we all know that you're going to get hacked. Someone's Bitcoin's getting stolen tomorrow. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of like there's a lot of just question marks around like what exactly you would be done, and then you're trusting those question marks to be filled in. And I don't know much about the UK government. That's, you guys can answer that more. You're trusting those things to be filled in by them, correct?
We're just as untrustworthy as you guys, don't worry.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, no, we don't trust them either. Again, you're talking about that like nuance. I think the problem with this initiative, and it's in the languages. There is no nuance in the language. It is very much a case of stop killing games. Like,
but that's my point. Is like you can't expect you can't expect them to figure out that nuance because they're not gamers. They don't know. Like, they're looking at it from like strictly words on a paper point of view, and that's like the problem with it.
I think the big point here is as well, right? It does read very much of like, disgruntled gamer had their game taken away. Now let me try and use my voice to get what I want. And it's not like a well thought out process of like, okay, let's talk to and I know it's hard to get in these rooms and talk to these people, but it can be achieved with enough hard work with the Microsofts, the Ubisofts, these companies, and go, okay, what can be done? Like what level? Because every game has some form of like live service in it. Look at the new Assassin's Creed, right? And I love the new Assassin's Creed. One of my favorite experiences this year. But they have the Animus missions that are live service. Will that game have an offline mode? Take that in 50 years time, whatever it may be, because that was ingrained in the game, and now if we take that offline, it breaks this. Like, I do think there's a level of nuance that has to be had, and we need to try and get there as soon as we can.
Yeah. I think, like Crash mentioned it as well, is like if you like just wholesale say that every game has to have an offline component, it does stifle some people's creativity. There might be someone who's like, I've got this really incredible, unique idea that will only work in an online scenario, but I can't do it because there's this initiative that'll stop me doing it. So like, well, we'll never see that idea come to light. Because there's no, like they say, there's no kind of like middle ground in the conversation. It's like either your game is always going to have to be online forever, or your game is always going to have an offline component. And it's like if you can't do that, then you can't release your game.
You could also always go peer to peer, but then you look at like what happens with Modern Warfare 2, where if you, God forbid, you play Modern Warfare 2, they fuck with your internet and all sorts of shit like that.
Well,
I don't know if Modern Warfare 2 is
World of War.
one of the Call of Duties.
World of War just happened.
That one?
Xbox just had to take it down because they literally hacked people's remote hacked people's computers with a thing being like, haha, you've been hacked by Jonathan 6365. Like, yeah, nuts. But interesting nonetheless. I do hope there is another version of this that can include everybody. And didn't Microsoft just come out with an initiative? Maybe it's dead now, of like them thinking about trying to preserve games or something. Because I saw a report only a couple of weeks ago.
So we talked about them using AI for game preservation of like rewriting, like or reproducing source code.
Got you. Okay, makes sense.
Not quite the same thing, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Next story. We are talking about Forza Motorsports developers turn 10. Their studio, obviously, we know was heavily affected with layoffs. The note was about 50%. It looks like they have been turned into a support studio now, with there being no more Forza Motorsport on the horizon. I didn't do that on purpose, I swear. On the horizon future. I mean, it's a hard one, right? Because again, from what I've seen from the community, instead being a huge Forza fan, he's like, yeah, this was always going to happen. These games have been getting worse and worse and worse over the last few iterations.
Yeah, I trust Stead on what he says, but like I think last time I had looked at the Metacritic score, the last few
critically does well
as well,
and with the community not as well. That is what has been out there from what I'm considering.
But how my question is like, do motorsports perform well based off the people that buy it initially, or is it the hardcore community? Like, how are the microtransactions? How do people like put money into the game? Like, what is that metric? I don't know because I don't play those games.
From what I can understand, the last time, again, Stead will be very quick to get me in the podcast discussion section. It's coming for me. But from what I can understand, they messed up the. I don't know if it was last game or the one where they went way too heavy with it that turned that community against them. I remember talking about that in a way of like it was too heavy.
Yeah, from what I understand, I think it went very heavy on the previous one. Which was like very highly panned, and then they tried to do a similar thing in the latest one, but then it got backtracked and pulled out. But yeah, again, Stead, jump in the comments and let us know for sure. But again, I think it was very much a case as well with Motorsport, the reboot. I guess not reboot, but yeah, the last one. It was very content light as well. Like they came out with the original launch of it. I think they had a couple of packs, and then like it took a long time for new stuff to start turning up in the game, and it was a lot of rehash stuff as well, or there were just stuff that wasn't in the game that was in previous titles. So it was very much missing content.
So yeah, they have become a support studio for the Horizon team now, and that will be the game that comes out, I guess, from Xbox. Forza Horizon has now exist for a while.
Yeah. I mean, as purely a player, I was always a Horizon fan over a Motorsport fan. I just like it makes sense. Like, I mean, Forza Horizon 5 was like critically, like universally loved as like it was a 10 out of 10 game. It won IGN's Game of the Year, those kind of things. So like I can see why they'd want to double down on that. And it's just a shame to see a studio bear the brunt of this.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Moving on. Last story this week. A game I put in the Discord. The walls have fallen with this one. I think this is a step in a huge direction for gaming as a whole. PlayStation's Arrowhead's game and Arrowhead's game, Helldivers 2, is coming to Xbox later in 2025. I don't need to read the quotes for this, but it will be the first published PlayStation game ever to come to Xbox. Now, you might be saying, that's not true, Fixer, you're incorrect. MLB The Show came. That isn't true. It wasn't published by PlayStation. That was published by MLB directly and was developed by Sony San Diego. So, absolutely mental. When this dropped, I was like, okay. A caveat to add to it, apparently it is launching the exact same day as the Gears of War reboot, or remaster, or redeluxe, or what they call it? Reloaded. That's it. Thank you. Gears of War Reloaded. Number one, I guess, are you going to play it on Xbox, boys?
No, I own it on PC.
No. Here's what I will say, and it's a very big point. If you're very pro games coming out on every platform, all that stuff, you don't want exclusives, you should buy this game on Xbox, because Sony's like one of the last pillars of exclusives to console. You show Sony, you'll buy games on Xbox. You have Nintendo there as well.
Sony are not last.
Nintendo. I said one of the last.
There's only two. There's only three companies.
So he's one of the last. Yeah, that's right. He wasn't wrong. He said what he said.
Fixes out here trying to point out, like, maybe I didn't word it great, but I wasn't wrong.
Technically, it was correct, and that's the best kind of correct.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I meant.
I was trying to save you.
Yeah. No, you were trying to get me. You're trying. I see you, Fix. It's okay. It's okay. You should, if you're a fan of PlayStation games coming to Xbox, you should 100% buy this game and support this game, even if you already have it on PlayStation or whatever. If it's that big of a movement that you are in very big support of, I think this is cool. I think it's great for the game.
Too late.
Go ahead, Fix.
Too late.
A little bit.
I think for me, it stinks of, okay, sales are dried up. We need to move with the times. PlayStation, that being, sales are dried up. We need to move with the times. What do? Oh, there's got to be some Xbox players over there that would want to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say the same thing about when Sea of Thieves came over to PlayStation?
100%. 100%. Sales are dried up. We got a little bit. That's a little bit different. Well, maybe I don't know the Helldivers community as much, right? But like, we've got some new content that we're pushing out, which I'm sure they have with this. It's like a perfect time to like release on a new platform and have new content, which brings in a bigger player base as a whole.
They had their highest player count for the game, I think, not too long ago.
Yeah, oh wow, really?
Yeah. So
they had a big event.
Yeah, they've introduced a new race of enemies. They've done a lot of additions to the game, and they've also just talking about like games releasing on platforms. Stuff. Like obviously, there was an issue a while back with the PC release of Helldivers where it had to have a PSN account linked to it, and if you were in a area where you couldn't get PSN accounts, you just could not buy this game anymore. They took it off sale after the fact. Which a lot of the community were really angry about, but PlayStation have recently reneged on all of that, and you can now buy it everywhere again. Even the Vatican, which is weird.
Why? Why not?
Don't know.
Why not?
Apparently, there is one player in the Vatican who plays Helldivers.
Good shout out to them.
Yeah.
Orange Cookie Man writes in, is Helldivers 2 releasing on Xbox after releasing on PC? That's surprising. In an industry that is now dominated by sales charts of cross-platform games, isn't this just the new normal? Which other titles do you predict are most likely to follow suit? So we'll start with is this surprising? Yes, it is surprising. Because it's the very first ever first-party published game from PlayStation. PlayStation hadn't done this before, so yes, it is surprising. I don't think you can just expect something to be the new because Xbox does it. That doesn't make it normal.
Yeah.
Just because we've seen Xbox now change their entire marketing plan, and what I will say is they are clearly ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
On this, in comparison to Sony,
Yeah,
they were with cross-platform, they were with backwards compatibility, they've been ahead of the curve. Game Pass, all these things, they've been ahead of the curve. But you can't just go, isn't this normal? No, it's not normal. This is the first one, so it's a big surprise. I was surprised.
When the market leader does it, yeah. Sorry, just interrupt.
No, exactly. No, I get what you're saying in terms of like because of the sales. I'm letting you all know right now. This is not going to have great sales on Xbox the way that things sell well on PlayStation. Because Xbox have conditioned their player base to play on Game Pass. I don't care what anybody says. I think I'm right. I will be shocked if I'm wrong. And I don't agree because you're going to point to on the charts thing. It's going to be like, oh, it's selling well on... That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean it did amazingly. It means it came out at a good time. Put it this way. This podcast launched at number 4 on the iTunes chart. That doesn't mean that we're a good podcast.
We're a great podcast.
It means you know how to market properly. Like if I put out a song on a Wednesday, and I can convince 100 people to buy it on iTunes, I can probably break the top 100 on Apple iTunes. Doesn't mean I did something well. It just means you released it at a great time and enough people bought it to make it spike at a certain moment.
I mean, that would suggest to me that you did marketing well. So you did do something well.
You know what I'm trying to say here. Like, I see...
You keep breaking up.
I keep breaking up? You see games all the time say, like, best-selling, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't necessarily mean it was the best. It sold amazingly. It just sold well in a very small time period, which is what has made it spike to the best-selling chart bit, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm interested to see, you know what the most interesting thing about this whole thing? It's not like, great, you know, a PlayStation game is now on Xbox, and the dream of playing Last of Us is coming true on my Xbox console. No. No. What this means is I'm really looking forward to the fan art of Gears of War meets Helldivers. Same as we got the Doomslayer meets Annabelle from Animal Crossing when they both released on the same day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see Marcus Phoenix dropping with some Helldivers.
I mean, that would be dope.
Halo crossover when, you know?
I mean, I did see some like trailer that somebody had made, some CG trailer of Master Chief shadow dropping, or pod dropping. I was like, that's cool.
The thing is, I feel like Xbox would 100% be... I think Xbox would do it. I just don't think PlayStation would do it.
I don't think PlayStation wants Master Chief running around in their game.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So, well, here's the thing, like, you've got to get past that argument. It's like, the companies don't care. They're not direct, like, they're not like the fanboys who are arguing with each other online. They don't care. As long as they're making a profit, it's happy. If this could make a profit, they would both 100% do it. They'd be like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
You know what? I think if you sell it as a $20 skin, sure, maybe it would happen. To Despawn's point, though, and non-joking,
I'm not joking.
Gears of War is a possibility because Gears of I meant me joking, not you joking. Gears of War is dropping on PlayStation. Like having a Gears of War crossover kind of makes sense because then you have the Gears of War Reloaded game there, or if E-Day ends up going there, that makes sense. Those sort of crossovers. With something like Halo that isn't even announced
over my dead body.
Coming to PlayStation or something like that, it's a little bit more questionable. Because you'd also like theoretically want to plan the skin to come out around when the game comes out to like do cross promotion or whatever. Yeah, no, this is surprising because this is, like Fix said, this is the first time we've seen Sony do this. MLB very clearly was not a Sony decision.
No, they were forced with that, yeah.
Yeah, where this is like Sony has decided we're releasing Helldivers there. the next game you'll probably see is the next co-op or multiplayer game they put out. I wouldn't count on a single player game coming over just yet.
Well, you
I
got to
do
remember,
think it is
Marathon.
Here's my question: is Marathon was gearing up for an August launch?
Yeah.
Now this is dropping. Instead.
Oh, do you think this is replacing that?
Do you think this is we need to make some money back because Marathon's just like screwed the pooch. So let's just put the multiplayer game on another platform.
I don't think that reactionary, to be honest.
I don't think it's just that. It might have like changed the timetable of this a little bit, where it's like, oh, we got to do this sooner. But I imagine they probably were like, let's do this because we can get more money from Helldivers, like Bix had said.
Yeah, I don't think it was the sole reason, but I definitely think there was a reason of like, we should probably do this sooner rather than later. Like, again, like Helldivers is getting great reactions at the moment with all the changes they've made. I think this is a really good time to bring more people in. So yeah, like I do think that the Marathon thing maybe had some kind of influence on when they dropped it, but I think it would have happened eventually at some point. What would be the reason I initially thought Marathon is what would be the next game? Marathon would have been the next game, but like we don't know what's going to be like. So like, what could theoretically be the next game? Because it very much feels like PlayStation are doing that thing of like they are just going to focus on the multiplayer side of it.
Yeah, I mean, even with Marathon, I wouldn't have counted Marathon into the same conversation as what's happening with Helldivers, only because like from the moment they got Bungie, it was very clear like Bungie's going to keep the games multi-platform. They're in control of their own destiny, whatever. Pun destiny. Not intended, but there is a pun there.
I wonder what it was.
So it's not a 1-to-1, but yeah, I mean, other than that, every other live service game Sony's tried has kind of just ended up in the mud for the most part. Or not even the most part. I don't think there's been anything other than Helldivers.
Not that's been successful on a big magnitude like you're talking, 100%. I think everything else is... You've had things that have done, like, have people have enjoyed, but I don't think it's done, like, Last of Us's online mode was obviously people loved that.
It was just a side thing to the main.
Exactly. It's not a live service game, No. I've always said this, like they've never had good multiplayer games ever. Like in terms of like online multiplayer, like in which we're talking about, right?
Yeah. So
I think Last of Us is that. Yeah, not to say that it did well, but it is like a good multiplayer experience. But you're right, like it's the multiplayer experiences always feel like like the Uncharted multiplayer experiences don't feel like I want to play some more Uncharted. Let me jump into a game of multiplayer or whatever.
They came out at a time where every game had to have.
Yeah.
That was.
I think Tomb Raider had one. Yeah, every one of them had one. My brain's done that thing where it's forgot the name of the game, but that's because the game lasted 2 weeks. Concord, thank you. For some reason, my brain was just going Control, but it's not Control because Control's the Remedy game. So see, that's a little. It's looking like could that have seen more success if it had come out on Xbox as well?
That game was set to fail, whether it was good or not or anything, just based off the perception people had of it. And I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying like that game was railroaded into failure based off the perception of the game, which is not like incorrect. It just is what it is. Like that game could have ended up being amazing. People were not going to hear it for that game. They did not want to give that game the time of day.
Should we get into the Guess That Game then, boys?
Go on then.
Yeah.
All right, Guess That Game is upon us once again, where I have picked a game. You will ask or no answers, and we have a great time. The points look like this. Crash is currently sitting at 17. Matt is Despawn sitting at 14. I'm sitting at 14, and Ryan McCaffrey, who is here once, is sitting at 1 point. 100% success rate. Shout out to him. All right. I've got my clock. Are you ready? We're going to start with Crash, then to Despawn. Are you ready?
Yes.
One moment.
Crash needs notes.
Open my. I just want to open my.
I got my notes out. I'm good. Respect it.
Right.
I'm good. All
right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
360 game.
Yes.
Was it exclusive?
Oh, yes. I believe so. Yes.
Was it a third-party game?
No.
So, I'm just to clarify, confirm. Was it a first-party game?
Yes.
Okay.
Third person?
Yes. No. First person. I'm giving you that. Yeah.
First person. Okay. Was it an RPG?
No.
Action adventure.
No.
Was it a shooter?
Yes.
Shooter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sci-fi.
Yes.
Okay. Was it? Here's a weird question: is the studio being closed down?
No.
Okay. I mean, I you know.
Smart question. I like it.
Is this is gonna give it away? But fuck it. Is the studio still with Xbox?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Not what I was thinking.
No. Fuck. So 360 exclusive. Pass. Just I don't want to waste time.
Let me pause real quick. I want to clarify on one thing real quick for me. So just give me,
Okay. No, that's
give
fine.
me a sec. I don't like saying. I think I'm right. It's like yeah. I think I'm right. I think you were.
You are breaking up bad. I don't know what's going on over on your side.
Yeah.
On my I just want to be clear. On my end, I'm not breaking up at all. I'm listening to myself back.
You should check the setting that I had to change on Discord. That Despawn had mentioned to me. Where is it?
The voice isolation.
Yeah.
I've already done it.
You've already done that? Oh, okay.
I'm not on my end. I'm listening to myself back. I turned my voice monitor back. I'm not breaking up at all.
Adjust your gain on Discord. You have it on auto gain. I would turn it off of auto gain.
Welcome to the behind the curtain with MXIM.
Yeah, because we know we're going to get it otherwise.
We are going to get it. We want to fix it for you guys, honest. We do want it to be perfect. The clock is stopped, by the way. So
I can't even see the gain. I can't even see it right now. So I'll fix it. We'll have to fix it for next time.
Yeah. So before you start the clock, I just want to clarify. You know what? We'll clarify at the end. Come on. Okay. So I passed. Start the clock and crash.
I'm still trying. Wait. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying. You're gonna hate me. I'm pretty. I think it's safe. Yeah. All right. Go on.
More than for sure. No.
Go.
Is it military based in terms of like?
No.
Not military. Okay.
Nah.
Okay. Has it been subsequently released on other platforms?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I hate this.
Yeah. Okay.
By other platforms, do you just mean PC, or like is it being on other consoles?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. And
Exclusive.
yes, it's definitely sci-fi. It's definitely sci-fi. I was just being stupid.
Okay, so 360
First-party.
exclusive first-person shooter. No longer exclusive. It was exclusive when it launched, but it's no longer exclusive.
No, it's still exclusive. That isn't what you said. You asked if the series was it.
No, I had as it's subsequently released on other consoles.
That's what he said.
Well, okay, well then no.
Okay, so this game is exclusive specifically. Got it.
So this game is exclusive. Okay. I think I know what it is.
360 exclusive, first person shooter, sci-fi.
So the thing is, it's because it's the first party that I don't. I'm gonna stick with the answer I've got in my head, but I don't think it's right now. But we'll see.
I'm gonna guess Halo. It's not Halo.
It's not Halo.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna say Titanfall 1.
It's not Titanfall 1.
No, because it's not first party exclusive. So the other one I had in my head.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
So is this.
Yeah, and yeah,
that was also military based, and I said it's not. Is it military based or whatever? What is it?
So my
game was Perfect Dark 0. I think it's just called Perfect Dark on the 360, by the way. It's the launch title. It launched on the Xbox 360.
It launched on the N64.
Nope, the remake, which is called Perfect Dark, launched on the Xbox 360. Didn't launch on the N64. Perfect Dark 0.
Don't you play a spy? Wouldn't that be considered like military based?
Mm-hmm.
You really?
It's a branch of the military, yeah.
No, because I want to call James Bond.
No, you won't pull. That's literally where my mind went. I was like, you're calling James Bond the military?
I was just being extra.
There's no way you're calling James Bond the military. No. Stop it. There's no way. I thought about it for a second. I was like, no, I wouldn't call this military. No.
My mind was going to like Titanfalls and.
What don't you like these? When you seem upset, what don't you like?
I would have never got this. My mind doesn't go to Perfect Dark because I never played
If you
it.
if you would have went to launch titles, you might have got.
No, because my brain's not that well packed for what's a launch title and what's not. I don't know, like, because you say it's like it's a remake.
It's literally a remake.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
The game is the remaster of the original Perfect Dark, which was originally made.
I get what T-Spawn's going at.
That's why my brain's like,
it's not
original. Yeah, just because the remake was exclusive. It's like the game didn't originally launch. Yeah, whatever.
Here's the thing.
It did originally launch on this game. It only launched
here's the
on
thing,
Xbox 360.
If we talk about Dead Rising, and I say this series launched on the series console for the Dead Rising remake, would that not be a weird statement to make?
Yeah. That's what my argument is. Because
Dead Rising.
Like the remaster. Yeah, the remake. Yeah. If that game had just come out on Xbox.
Yeah, but okay. But the point is this
game is a remastered version of a game that already came out.
Cool. It's two different games. It's not the same game.
But it's a remaster, no?
Is it a new story? Is it a new part of the is it a new continuation of the story
I'm not
franchise, or is it
your point for this? I'm just saying, like, it's confusing the way you've done this.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well, I'm arguing against it because I think the fact that it's a remake of an existing story that came out on a previous
You would have still got this game.
Well, I didn't get it
based on none of that.
But
because
you said it's an exclusive.
Yeah, it isn't exclusive. This game isn't exclusive to this platform.
I'm not happy with this, but whatever.
This game is exclusive to this platform.
No.
Okay, well...
You knew where people's minds go with that question.
Can I be honest with you? I didn't.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a chance to get a point with some trivia.
You're not stupid. Why do
I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance with some trivia, guys. I'll give you a chance with trivia. All right. Perfect Dark was on the Xbox 360.
And the N64.
Was on the Xbox. This version was only on Xbox 360. Okay, well, I'm not even doing it. We're not.
Keep going.
It has a whole new mode on it and stuff. So, just saying. But who made the version on the Xbox 360? Was it Rare? Was it 4J Studios? Or was it Turbo Overkill?
I feel like I know the answer, but again, I don't know. Like, Fix might say, well, originally they worked on it, but then they got taken off it, and therefore it doesn't count.
I asked a question here where Fix loses all points if it's not Rare. I just want to say that.
Okay.
Why do I lose all points?
Is the studio still with Xbox?
Rare are still with Xbox. I said yes.
Hey. That is Rare. Why are you answering it?
What? What are you talking about? You asked, is the studio still with Xbox?
Yeah, so the answer is Rare, right?
So the answer is Rare.
Yeah.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay.
What are you saying?
I'm going to say Rare, yeah.
Okay, I was just hoping you both, it was worked on by Rare and 4J Studios. I was going to give you both of them. So there you go. Happy? Fucking Jesus Christ.
That's why the answer is technically incorrect. I'm saying we take the point.
God forbid we bloody, God forbid we have fun on this podcast anymore, guys. Jesus.
I'm having a great laugh. I don't know what you're talking about.
I want fun. You know what I find fun, Fix? Getting the most fucking points possible and guess that game.
Is that why that's why you've got 18 points? That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go through this week's questions and fix this out. Remember, you can podcast@gmail.com, or you can join the Discord and ask your questions there. I get a point. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, because
no, I don't agree.
Yeah.
It's all for show, Fix. You get the point. You get the point.
Fuck it. You know what? Have two. Why not? No, don't have two. You have one.
First question comes from Origin Cookie Man. He says, as gaming matures and marketplaces across platforms become unfiltered under single devices, go on. Undefined, sorry. Under single devices, price comparisons become increasingly important. In the console space, special terms and practices are used to highlight this, e.g., smart delivery. Oh, bro, did we not?
We've already answered
already?
This. Yeah,
we have.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
Shorten your questions, people.
Man. Please, I beg
2
of
sentences.
you.
Come on.
Have we answered this one as well? I feel like we've missed it.
Yep.
Yeah, we did this one as well. See, this is.
We're professionals.
I feel like we've done a lot of these apart from.
My fault.
No, it's not your fault. I think it's everything up to Stead. Here we go. Stead's question: have we reached a point in gaming where Fortnite or Xbox are more of a platform that matters than Xbox, PC, PlayStation, or Nintendo?
For those that missed it, because that cut out for me, Fortnite, Minecraft, or Roblox.
I don't know why I'm cutting out. I literally sound perfect my end. Makes no sense. Go on. Any crash?
Yes and no. Like I think Roblox, specifically Roblox, I'm not 100% sure I'll put Minecraft in the same category of being a platform, but with Roblox you hear people talking about like, oh, I played this Roblox game. Roblox games are a very big thing, and I don't know if it's as much on Minecraft. I do know people have like the Hunger Games on Minecraft, but those are more like mods where they don't function as people talking about games specifically on Minecraft. I do know there are mod spin-offs of like the Sky Minecraft, it's like a big MMO or whatever. Yeah, those exist, but I would definitely put Roblox up there because it does function like a platform.
There is a marketplace in Minecraft that people do use to sell mods and things. Like it's mainly more for skins and things like that, and like texture packs. But there are mods, but it's not to the level that Roblox is. But I do think I think there is an element where they will become more like, again, it is like you see companies like Minecraft was bought for the specific reason, like you could run a profitable business off the back of just that, and they will become like, I think they will to an element start becoming like Fortnite is like the juggernaut that it is, and it basically it funds things like the Unreal Engine and Tim Sweeney's court cases.
Fortnite's in this as well. Yeah, Fortnite's a platform for sure. It's interesting because I don't know if I'd put Fortnite on the level of Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Nintendo.
No.
Solely because the stuff they've put on their platform, like the other Fortnite spin-offs, are hot for a week and then they disappear and people don't care about them.
The answer is no. Like, don't get me wrong. Games like Fortnite and Minecraft and Roblox are humongous. They're humongous games, and they're a big ecosystem, and they have their players, and those players are probably never going anywhere and won't buy anything else, and that's what they enjoy. My nephew still plays. As he gets older and older, Roblox nonstop. That's the only thing he cares about. But no, it's not bigger than Xbox. It's not bigger than PlayStation. It's not bigger than a PC or anything. Right, like it's not, and it never will. So yes, they will never reach a point. I think you're also not. I don't see you seeing another Minecraft or another Fortnite, because I think attention spans. Those games exist, and they've taken up so much of the oxygen in the gaming space. And then not only that, attention spans are just not like they used to be. Like, I don't know. I just don't think so. I don't think that. I definitely think platform still matters. And it will.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, no matter how good a game is, like, unless there's a platform to play it on, it's like,
that's true. Game. You need a PC or Xbox or PlayStation or an iPad. iPad's probably more of a platform than any of those games because you need one of those to play the games.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
You can't play Fortnite on your TV, and it's just
you can't play Fortnite on Fortnite.
Yeah,
you need something to play Fortnite on. Yeah.
New question from a new person, and I appreciate that. Trusty Turtle, welcome.
Great name.
Appreciate you. Have you ever had a ridiculous concept for a video game that you wish existed, but definitely doesn't, and never will? Sorry, I butchered it. Personally, I've always wanted a Seinfeld. That's how you say that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seinfeld.
Yeah. Open world. Seinfeld wasn't big here, so every time I see that word, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely American. Open world RPG where you run around as Jerry, completing side quests related to episodes in the show. For example, investigating crime scenes, who the second spitter.
No idea.
Don't know what that reference is. Was or having to escape from Crazy Joe.
Is this the time I tell you about my idea for a video game?
Sure, let's do it.
So I want to make this. This is a game I'm going to eventually make in the future when I get the time and patience to do it. When my kid goes off to college. I retire. Okay. Yeah. How dare you? I'm definitely putting my kid through college.
I didn't mean that.
On the back of this podcast, I am putting my kid through college.
He's received the never
motherfucker.
Your kid's not gonna be smart enough.
This kid's gonna be a podcaster, editing videos as soon
Exactly.
as he can.
Yeah, oh yeah, as soon as this kid can use a mouse, I'm getting him on the cut and paste.
Yeah,
No, so the idea I had, it's not really a unique idea that I don't think will ever be made, but it's an idea that I've had for a video game for a while. It's been stuck in my head. I did start it briefly, but then just run out of the time to do it. So it is a reverse escape from hell kind of game. So it's a 2D platformer where you actually play a little demon who slept in past the apocalypse, and you've got to work your way through hell to get to the apocalypse.
Oh,
I like it.
interesting concept.
And as you start working your way through hell and all the people that are battling into hell, and like you battle through them, like you level up, and by the time you get to the apocalypse, you're a big ass demon with all these superpowers. And who knows? Maybe you stop the apocalypse. Maybe you don't. We'll find out when you play the full game, releasing maybe on Game Pass.
Never.
Maybe on Game Pass.
You might get funded, mate. You might get funded.
Also, if anyone steals this idea now, you've heard it on this podcast. I will come for you. I will sue you. My lawyers are waiting and ready to go.
I'll hit Rahul. He's my lawyer when I need him for. He's got us. He's got us.
Yeah.
Crash, have you got anything? Anything that like a concept so out there that series, something you enjoyed? Is just like, oh, I wish there was a this.
No, this really just makes me think of like the old, like SNES era, like where you had the Simpsons game where you play in like Bart's Nightmare and stuff like that. This just reminds me of like that era. I don't really have something specific.
I always wanted I always wanted a game like Saints Row, based on the streets of London. So like UK gang stuff. I've always wanted a game in that era, where like guns are not the primary thing. It is like knuckle dusters and knives and bats and stuff like that, but in a GTA style. We have guns here as well, but they would be more limited.
Like, more Sleeping Dogs-ish.
Sort of, yeah. Very like similar to that based. That, and I've always wanted like a rapper game, like a game based on like musicians.
You have
the rapper.
No, like proper rap. Like
whoa.
Def Jam.
Well, no, yeah, but like I always wanted like a Streets of Rage like that, but like it's more like, does anyone remember
you got the new Wu-Tang game coming?
Or I know. But like I don't want it based on like an IP. I want it based more on the scene of like
okay,
like especially like grime rap, again London based. Again, we don't get enough games in England
that are
London
based,
and stuff like that. Like for me, like it's always cool when you like even playing games like Ubisoft get Watch Dogs, and like we go to San Francisco, and I know they did, but like it was like futuristic London. It wasn't quite what I wanted. I want like
today
gritty London. You know, you're going to Hackney, you're going to Brixton, you're going to you're going to all these places.
Yeah.
No, generally, like you're going to Greece for us.
Yeah.
As somebody who's had so many New Yorks made in games, let me tell you that you're really flipping a coin on wanting something to be made from London.
Oh no, but we're assuming it's going to be good as well, right? But
yeah, true.
I
want the game to be good. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
In Watch Dogs' defense, the London they built was actually very good. Now the game itself wasn't for me, like the concept of everything else, but London. But yeah, that's something that I would want. I mean, there's other that
I'm gonna be real fix.
Go on.
That doesn't sound very ridiculous. Sounds very like, I think that's a possible thing. That doesn't sound like super out there.
Well, it's ridiculous because it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. Is the way like we got the last time we got a game in that ilk was The Getaway, if you remember that one too.
We had that VR game, which was mainly
that was on Rouse. That was on Rouse.
Gangsters.
I'm talking about like a GTA, let's go Saints Row because GTA's out of the realm of like possibilities. That would be ridiculous. Some would say.
I mean, I don't know, man. I could see Rockstar one day just be like, "Yo, UK based, let's do it. Great London,
no
gangsters."
Way. No, it doesn't. It's not marketable enough. I don't think.
I'm sorry, but if you put a Rockstar GTA, that's market enough in itself.
No, but you know
GTA. I think Americans would be very like, I don't want to play in London. I think you could do a Rockstar spin-off, not necessarily a spin-off.
Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a Red Dead instead of a Red Dead Redemption 2, you do something that's very UK. But like with how good Rockstar is at capturing America and American like views and ideologies, they'd need people from London as well, like very, very involved. And I feel like there's a lot of moving parts to get right before that starts even getting.
I think they've got the money to get that. They've got studios in the UK. They could do that.
It's not about money. I don't think
it's a money based. I think it's about people that want to do it. You're saying they have to want to go out and get those people, and I don't think they want to. You have to like the thing with like creating even Red Dead Redemption 2 is you probably have people inside the studio that are like, I really want to make a cowboy game. It's easier to like conceptualize that possibly happening than somebody being like, I want to go make a London game. Let me go find some people who are from the area and know like what it's really like out there.
No, what I'm saying is there are Rockstar UK studios, so there will be people in the UK right now working for Rockstar who are like, I want to make a game based here.
No, but I don't know if they are. They're not. They're also not based on like. I'm talking about being based on black culture of like gangs, street crime, rap. I love Rockstar. Yeah. I love Rockstar Studios, but I guarantee I walk in that building. There ain't gonna be. I play the P money to them, and they're like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" So like, come on. That's what I'm talking about. The other one I'll go with is some people will know this, some people won't. I'm a huge I always wanted like a story-driven Mulan game, like based on the film. Like we got like there are games, but I'm talking about like a third-person action Mulan game.
My guy, play Kingdom Hearts 2. You got the Mulan level. My gosh,
it's right there. It exists.
You got the Mulan. You got the Mulan fix.
Yeah, I mean, that's likely to happen. We'll see that in Kingdom Hearts 4. You get the Mulan level back. Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah,
potentially. But I'm just saying those are things I wanted. Next question comes from Top Left 91. Breaking everyone had disappointed.
You're cutting.
Yeah, do you want me to read the questions since you're cutting out?
Sure.
Cool. All right. Top Lift. We've news breaking of Everworld's cancellation. How disappointed are us, I guess, that we will never know what it truly was going to be? Yeah, I am. I am very disappointed because I wanted to see what Rare were working on next.
I don't think disappointed is the right word for me. I don't think I would have cared for it regardless. I think I'm disappointed for Rare more so than anything, and for the people that were excited for it. I don't know if I'd say I'm disappointed that I'll never get to know what it is personally.
Yeah, I totally agree. If I'm still cutting in that, I don't know. Okay.
It might be whenever you go to read, like you're looking off to the side and reading from the monitor.
I'm on top of the microphone right now. I might be too on top of it. I've got to be honest. No, yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I'm not. I can't be sad about what got shown. I didn't see enough. Yeah. So I don't know what this game was. We know what the art style looked like or the concept of what they were going for, but no, I'm not that upset. I'm upset for the people like Cresher. Like I'm upset for the developers at Rare that were making something that clearly they were passionate about and they were looking forward to putting out, and then that's been cancelled. But no, I'm not that upset about Everworld. This is a smart thing with them not showing too much of it.
Yeah, we didn't see enough to get fully invested, and like it's not a scale bound. Like we didn't see like a full fight sequence with a dragon that broke our hearts to never see again. Like
no, exactly.
It was some walking through fields with animals that looked cool and interesting, and I was interested in the concept. But like Scalebound still stings to this day, whereas Everwild is very much like okay.
I think even Perfect Dark stings more than Everwild because we saw
mostly real gameplay,
some sort of demo. So, yeah. Trenturous says, "Do the layoffs and cancellations of some IP? Am I good or am I cutting?"
Good.
Okay. Good. IP significantly Wait. I lost my train of thought there. Thank you. A massive change in direction. Are they shifting to a Game Pass service model? They announced working on a new console, but could they just cancel that too? Has Xbox lost a lot of credibility and trust? Crash?
They've lost a lot of credibility and trust. I think that goes without saying. Even Xbox diehards. Not all the diehards. There are still some diehards that are very like pro Xbox. Xbox did what needed to be done. But there are also some diehards who are off the camp of like, everything feels like it's just smoke and mirrors, and Xbox is just trying to pull one over on us. So I do think that there's definitely credibility and trust lost. For me, there's definitely like without a doubt, both of those things are next to gone.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, like I'm 100% in your camp. Whereas, like, I like even if they showed me the perfect game, even if they showed me that game that I just had an idea for, I was like, like Reverse Hell thing. It's like, look, we've made this with a AAA studio, and it's going to be the best game ever, and you're going to get all the profits from it. And then, like, yeah, but you might cancel it next week, so who cares? Yeah, I got no trust that a game will ever come out.
Let me put it this way. Fable is one of the games that I was looking forward to the most. It's dropped down so much after all this because we've never seen Fable gameplay. I don't know if that game's real. I have no clue.
Yeah, the thing is that what Xbox has lost the most, right, is they've lost our belief. I think is the biggest thing. Like there's losing credibility, there's losing trust, but there's losing the belief in that you can deliver from point A to announcement to point B where you go gold and the game is out. So now when anything gets shown, we can get excited, but that excitement will always be tempered now for, I would say, the next probably 5 years as a whole. Because again, delivering a Fable, cool. Delivering Gears E-Day, cool. Delivering Clockwork, cool. Like, that's fine, but now I need the next lot of announced games that you do the announcement to finish. And how long does that look? And it's not this lot of games. This lot of games I'm not that worried about. It's the next lot of games, that the next not E3 that comes around, or we'll start calling it Summer Game Fest. I've got to give up the not E3. The next Summer Game Fest that come around, that's when I'm like, okay, what are you showing? How long is it going to be in development?
How many
do I trust you to get to the end game?
It's even partly, I would consider it still this lot of games partly that they still need to deliver on as well. I like that we don't 100% know on, and I'm not just talking about Fable, because chances are Fable does come out. I was being like a little bit extra with it. But State of Decay 3.
Yeah.
Where's State of Decay 3? What is State of Decay 3 looks like? Will they feel like it's good enough to actually put out at the end of the day, or will they cancel it? And it's like, it could be playable and it could be playing. Some people might enjoy it, but Xbox might see it as it's not good enough to reach the people they need to, so they pull the plug on. And that's more so like where it's like that sort of trust and believability of something we see is just kind of gone.
Well, I'm going to say, like, it's not even an argument of like, is it good enough? Because I heard reports of, like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was reports that there was some games that got cancelled that Phil Spencer was playing like the week before and couldn't stop playing because he loved it so much, and they still cancel it. And it's like, loving a game even doesn't seem like it's a guarantee it's going to get past the finishing line. So yeah, they've lost. This is it. It's lost all credibility and trust now. In regards to, are they shifting to a Game Pass model? I think they're there now. It's like everything is in service to that. It's like the console is in service to getting people into Game Pass. The first party games that go into Game Pass on day one are in service to getting people into Game Pass. They are a service model.
That is why, to a degree, like, this lack of credibility and trust that they lost doesn't really matter, because the people who like Game Pass and have Game Pass are going to keep using Game Pass, even if they're like, oh wow, Xbox did really shitty things. I'm sure Xbox and Microsoft just see it as like, we're not really going to lose subscribers over this. It'll suck, and some of the hardcore gamers might walk away, but Game Pass is such a great value deal that they'll still come back and will still retain that and not really get hurt.
Of course, at the end of the day, my Game Pass just ran out, right? And that sucks. But when the next game that comes out that I care about, I'm gonna buy Game Pass again. Like, there's no. I hate
Gears
to say
Reloaded.
it, but that's the truth of it, right? Gears Reloaded, yeah. I literally spoke to Haley the other day. I was like, oh, new Gears Reloaded's coming out. Do you want to play through them all? I play through it again. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay. That's 2 lots of Game Pass. They're getting from... Oh, actually, I've got Gears Reloaded.
You should own it.
I have Gears Reloaded, technically. But you know my point. If it wasn't that, it would be 2 lots of Game Pass that we're paying for the month. And there you go. They got what they wanted in the end. So... And then what happens when I forget for 1 month and they get another month's worth of money? And that's what it is. That is what it is, literally.
Everything is now in service to that subscription.
Exactly. Next question comes from Steezy Sam and says, are all the layoffs in anticipation of AI? Despawn?
Yes?
No? Maybe?
Can you repeat the question? We talked about this earlier. The short term, yes. Like, they are recouping money for what they've spent on AI. I feel like there will be a lot of impact in the development in the future. But I don't think everyone's just been fired because they're being replaced by AI. I don't think that if that's what you kind of like alluding to in this question, but no, like I think AI has had a material effect on Microsoft as a company and their focus, and they're trying to cut costs to lead into that focus. But yeah, no, I don't think people are losing their jobs solely so they can be replaced with AI. But I think AI is like on the AI over here has affected game developing over here.
I think it's like the big company AI somewhere. Like if you were to draw up Microsoft as a big circle, there's a big spot where AI is, and it's taking up more of the circle and maybe overlapping with Xbox. So they were like, got to trim some of that fat off so that the AI can survive or whatever. Yeah,
we can't have you having this much of the pie. We need to give some of that pie over here. So cut some of the pie eaters from your table, please.
Yep. Well,
now
it's all just pie.
Now I just want pie.
All just pie.
I'm gonna get some pie after this.
Pie. I love a pie. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so much more than just that, isn't it? It's not just AI, it's a part of it. Look, whether you like it or hate it, it doesn't matter what side of the camp you're on. Every company in the world is going to adopt AI. Whether they do it in the right ways or the wrong ways, that's down to them. But we are going to see this across every industry that can use it. That's marketing, video games. It gets used in music now. Like it doesn't matter what it is, it's going to be used.
Yeah, and AI is very young. That misgambling on AI and how much you rely on it can kill a company because there's not regulations set on AI. And if you overgo into it, like there was a big lawsuit in China where people were like, oh, even if US and UK sort of are okay with AI, I know, just let it run rampant. And China had a very, very big lawsuit where they fined a AI company, I think it was millions or might have been into the billions, but they fined them a lot of money. It's like just a really unknown space that like part of what happened at Xbox is kind of like, okay, well, we need to like down because we also don't know what's going to happen with AI, and if this goes bust, we need to have some sort of wiggle room as well of it for us. Is my assumption.
Well, I think this is, I mean, let's have an AI conversation. I think the reason why like Microsoft are doubling down so hard right now is because they're building their own AI. They're not relying on the like open AI and things like that because of the legal issues that can come from that. Because OpenAI was solely built on just scraping the internet and learning from it. Which, as we know from anyone who's made anything, is a legal minefield at the best of times. So to do it wholesale and like build a business off the back of it and not like reward the people you've built it off the back of is a worrying issue. So that's why you get companies like Adobe have everything is built off of like all Adobe's AI is built off internal like their Adobe Firefly is built off internal stock images that they have the full rights for. So that's why like Microsoft are building Copilot to have their own.
Let's not start with Adobe, yeah,
because weren't they shown that's not actually
Adobe
accurate with it?
Let me go on record of saying this. Adobe are a bunch of dog shit and bastards, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. The fact they charged me for some stock photo thing, and then I went back to them and be like, why have you charged me £150? And I was like, it was literally a free trial or something like that. They're like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it now, sir. I'm like, hold up a minute, mate. I've used this one image and you've charged me 100. We're not doing that. F Adobe. And I got on my mama. I put that on my mama. Yeah.
On the mama. Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like F Adobe, like their business model is atrocious and the way that they like early release fees and all that kind of stuff. But like,
yeah, and that you can't even cancel with. Do you know what? Don't get me started.
But again,
do not get me started.
Like they have like again, their AI is also questionable in some of the like terms and conditions as well. But like as far as I'm aware, it's all.
There's no good.
Yeah, it's all money, but like,
yeah.
But
there's
again,
no good at this. But this, there is time and money is the good part of it.
So this is why companies are spending so much building their own learning models.
Of course.
Because then they are like, then they're not at this risk. And like, if the future is AI, they want to set themselves up to be in the best position. Unfortunately, everyone is rushing to the finish line to get everything ready as soon as possible. And it's the people that we talk about on a weekly basis that are the ones to suffer.
Yep. Should we do a couple more questions to get out of here?
Go on, then.
Top Lift 91 says, over the years of games that were shown and revealed at E3/Summer Game Fest, only to never be released or be cancelled, which one do you wish were playable most? For me, it's definitely Scalebound or KOTOR Remake, although fingers crossed KOTOR does get released.
I've said it before already. Scalebound. That one stung. I really like the look of it. It was like, Platinum Games, Xbox, big, massive fighting dragons thing. Looked cool. A soundtrack. Just got shit canned.
Yeah, I think I'm with Despawn on Scalebound. I can't really remember any other, maybe because they happened so long ago, I can't remember any other high notable games that were canceled at an E3 where I'm like, I wish this came out still.
I go on, and I played it.
Go on.
Fable Legends.
Really?
I literally, I played it. And
No.
I think in a Game Pass world, that game does okay. 4v1, the Dungeon Master, all that stuff. Like, I liked those type of games, and I still do like those type of games. I'm not saying it would have been successful. That wasn't the question. The question was, which one did you want to play? Like, I wanted to play a 4-player Fable with my friends. Like, no, it wasn't Fable, but
that game was good. I enjoyed that game when I played it.
I played it at my first ever
EGX.
A
Fair chat as well. That game was so ahead of its time as well. With different characters, you could have done skins and so much stuff that's just like the norm. Yeah, that people were just like, nope, don't want it back then. Yeah,
back then it was. Xbox had a few that was like ahead of its time, and then it's come around and like, Xbox just waited.
Xbox
had a Dreamcast moment quite a few times.
Yeah, like. Man.
Yeah. But Fable Legends for me. I've got like wristbands with like Fable Legends marketing on it and stuff like that.
Nice.
In my loft, which is nuts. Gotta be worth some money, right?
Yeah.
Lots of money.
At least £2.50.
I'll take it. I got boot selling, mate. I'll take it. Another one from Top Lift 91. Do any of you guys intend to buy the next Xbox console? And do you think we will still be talking about Xbox as a hardware manufacturer in the future? Or will they go the Sega way and become a publisher only? And if so, what would the future of the podcast be? Oh, God.
Deep. Whoa now. I mean, I can jump in straight away and say,
please.
Probably not going to buy this next Xbox, at least not at day one. Because, I mean, I'm a PC gamer now. I know I've talked about, like, there are certain exclusives that I play on PlayStation because they're only available on PlayStation right now. But, like, Xbox don't care about that. They want you to play wherever you want. It's like, why would I buy an Xbox when I already have a more powerful PC? And when it comes around to the next console, like maybe in a year or so, I'll just buy a new graphics card and CPU, which will future-proof me for the next generation and a half.
So, here's my answer. If I just move over here.
Oh.
Can you see here?
The bin?
On the video. No, next to the bin.
Oh, the wire?
So there's a little wire there, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And do you want to guess what that is?
It looks like a plug socket of some kind.
No, the thing on the floor next to it.
Oh, I don't know. I can't really tell from this angle.
Yeah, that's my Switch 2.
Okay.
And that is the reason why I will not be buying the next console. I've used it. I have full of buying remorse when it comes to the Switch 2. Don't get me wrong. I'm very lucky and very privileged to be in a position where I was able to buy one day one and things of that nature, right? But I think it just proved that, like, oh my God, I need to chill out when it comes to certain things. Like, I don't need everything. Like, I am good where I'm at. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy playing Mario Kart. The little that I did, I beat all the cups and stuff like that. I played online, enjoyed it. I played a good 20 hours, let's say. But 20 hours is not a lot for a console, a brand new console that you've just bought. And don't get me wrong, we've got Donkey Kong coming very, very soon. I'm going to grab that. Looks very good. I'm going to enjoy that, hopefully. But will I buy it day one? I don't think so. I mean, unless it's for a business reason. So if we're doing MXAM still, and and then I'm buying it to do an unboxing video or a comparison video, yes. But for me personally, no chance.
No, the only way I can see myself buying an Xbox is that I want to play a game on Xbox that is not on a TV in a room other than the room I'm currently in, and it is not on a different platform other than an Xbox platform at that point. Like if Gears of War goes to PlayStation, I'd rather just buy the next PlayStation because they'll have exclusive stuff on the next PlayStation.
Yeah.
Than buy an Xbox, or I'd rather get like a mini PC that I can plug into that room and connect to the TV or something like that.
Well, I mean, the idea. I mean, I guess obviously the dream for Xbox is like you'll just buy your next TV and pay for a Game Pass subscription for cloud gaming, and it'll be good enough because the infrastructure will be there.
They want good enough. Though.
I won't. I don't. I don't. I'm gonna say this. I don't give a fuck about streaming. I'm just gonna say that I don't think I will ever actively, like, it might be something I'm away on vacation or something like, yeah, sure, I'll use streaming. If I'm in my home, I'm not using streaming.
You will though. Like it will get. You're saying never, and I'm thinking it. Put it this way: when I went to Texas, I was brought around when I played Fortnite on their big TV, and I was like, okay, I can't even tell that I'm streaming.
Yeah, is the thing. Yeah, I played Yakuza on my MetaQuest. And I couldn't tell it was streaming. I knew it was, obviously, but like it looked just as good. I think the thing is like there'll be a scenario where like I'm not buying the next Xbox, but there'll be an Xbox exclusive I want to play. I've got a controller already. I'll pay for like that 1 week of Game Pass, and I'll just play it on cloud streaming or whatever.
By that point, you'll be paying by the hour, mate.
I have my PC, like, you know.
No, yeah, but you're saying, but let's say hypothetically bring out a live service game, right? And it's we're all playing it, we're all loving it. It's the next big thing, and then like you're like, oh, I want to play it downstairs, or I want to play it. I understand right now in your scenario, you can't fathom it, but you're saying never. There will come a time. I promise.
There will be a time. There'll be an app on your TV. There'll be an app on your smart TV that'll be good enough.
And I tell you how many times I go on my TV and I try and deal with like Netflix and the TV lags just a little bit, and I'm like, cool. I turn it off. I get up and come upstairs to my computer and I sit down because I do not want to deal like those little for me personally. Those little hassles and those hiccups are more annoying than the service itself. The issue of like launching it, and maybe it's not even the app itself. It's my TV that fucks up a little bit because I haven't turned it on forever because I don't really use my TV like that. And it's like completely on me, and it's not a software side on Xbox. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that, where I'd rather like go and get the hardware itself. I get something that plugs into my TV. So I know that when I want to play something on my TV, it'll function as well as it's going to function on a console than it is me having to deal with streaming services and that stuff.
Okay.
You guys seem doubtful still.
Yeah, because I think you're not thinking long term. I think you're thinking about it right now, and it's only going to get better. And right now, it's actually decent.
It's going to get better. It's also going to get more expensive.
Well, let's hope not. That's what I'm saying. Let's go with a glass half full, not a glass half empty on this conversation.
I just want you to know.
We're talking Xbox.
So, you know me. I can't. No, I can't.
You know, Crash. Someone stole his glass. Come on.
Yeah, it's true.
I have no glass. It's all empty. Everything is empty.
Someone stole his milk. I'm sorry, guys. Last question this week comes from Origin Creaker Man, who says, can gamers trust hobbyist media if they prioritize engagement above all? No. You've never been able to trust. Wait. Let me land. And you've never been able to trust hobbyist media ever. Like, I don't know why you've ever thought that you could trust hobbyist media, and even more so now you cannot. Like,
let me also just put it this way, and it's a very important thing that I think everybody needs to like abide by as a general thing. Do not trust anybody to a degree.
Yeah,
you hear something and you're like, cool, that's a cool idea. You know what you then go do? You go and look it up online and see like, oh, what is this really? You go and do your own research on anything you're told, and you do not trust anybody. You just use it as sort of a reference point.
Am I missing some context to this question? Like, it seems like a random question. Was this literally the entire question? I think
this goes to this one was the one with the Emperor thing. I think it goes back to the Gamepass discussion of like how that started on. It's like obvious media took that topic and ran with it, and like
my general rule of thumb is when it's like information from any source, it's the journalism 101. Find a second source.
Of course.
Don't just go to one source and go, I heard this thing from this one person, therefore it must be true. No. If you heard this thing from one person, go listen to it from another person. Go listen to it from 3 or 4 people. It's like,
unless the source is reputable, And
Even
it's also
then,
important to look at the source and look at what exactly is said on the source, because sometimes people will take what the source says, draw up their own inference, and be like, the source says this, and they'll show you the exact information, and they won't show you the context within that information or whatever. It's important to do it, and everybody will get lost in it. I get lost in like stuff sometimes where I read something and I'll like ignore a certain word, not purposefully, but gloss over it. It's why even stuff we say on this podcast, do not trust anything we say.
No.
If we say
Like,
something, it's very important.
I'm very trustworthy.
No, do not trust him either. He's least trustworthy. Yeah. No, generally, like I don't mean that from a point of view of like, oh, stop listening, stop watching, stop all this stuff. But it's like, no, we produce a video once a week. We produce a podcast that we want people to listen to.
Yeah.
Like there's a transaction here. We make fun content. Like, especially us, we're an entertainment-based podcast more than we are a news podcast. To be honest with you, we would rather not cover news at all if we could. But 99% of people come here to get their daily fix of like, oh, what's the update of what's going on in the industry this week? And that's why people listen. I know that because that's what people have told me, right? From listening to the podcast. But we put it this way, you can't trust us. We only pick the news stories that we want to talk about, which automatically makes us untrustworthy because we're not covering everything. Like,
makes this guy mad at me sometimes. Like, what?
100%.
Why is this not here? Why are we not talking about this? I can't even say that word.
No, but like think about it. Like, there's certain things that we like strive away from. There's certain things that we don't talk about. So that makes us instantly untrustable because we're not giving you all of the news of everything that goes on. Like, that doesn't mean being I don't think maybe being untrustworthy is not the right way to say it, but that's how this question's been framed.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it comes down to trust. I think it comes down to having your own bias and things of that nature and looking out for your own personal interests as well. Like,
people, I kind of think trust is the right word because people will trust the biases that agree with whatever their bias is.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very dangerous thing to just agree, like hear something and agree with it because it's what you want to be true.
Yeah, I think we've said this multiple times. Is like, I think going into your thing is like people looking for confirmation rather than information. It's like they just want to confirm what they think is true to be true rather than find the actual truth. We've always said like never trust us all. Like, don't trust us. Like Fixer said, like we're here to have fun and talk about the fun stuff that we find interesting. But even if you do agree with what we say, make sure that you go follow it up and get more information elsewhere. Because we don't, even the things we want to talk about, we don't go into full details because we just don't have the time. This would be a 5-hour podcast every day. We don't have that time.
Not just that, it's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes all we do is find a headline, we read that one article, and then we go and have a conversation off that article, even if other conversations have happened or pieces of info have come out. So like
that is what the podcast is. We don't even, I don't even anymore. Back in the day, we used to like read everything out and blah, 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 blah. Now I don't. I go headline, the important quote, then I'll riff off of that. That is what the podcast is, right? Like, we don't read out every single quote that comes out of every single thing because that doesn't make for a fun, engaging podcast. Again, that's what I feel like people forget sometimes. Like, we are making a piece of media that, and I've always done this. I make the podcast that I want to listen to. And that's why I think people like this podcast, because it's 4 friends who come together and we play vastly different games. We're all in vastly different points of our life. And we argue about the minuscule things about Crash being a glass half empty or a glass half full, Like, that's what we are. But no, you shouldn't trust anybody. Like, people on Twitter, especially nowadays, because it is literally a money grab platform. Like, let me rage bait. Do you know how much more popular we would be if we just rage baited constantly?
Oh my god, Xbox is dead. There you go, clip it out, put it online.
No, but like, imagine we started all of our clips like that, like with a hyperbolic, but we don't do that. It's just not who we are. Like, that's not what we want to be. That's not the community we want to cultivate. That's, like, that's why the Discord for me is like one of the best things that has changed the community as a whole, because they have decent conversations in there where most of the time I disagree, but it's fine. Like, there's a good conversation being had.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, no, you shouldn't trust hobbyists, games media. What you're telling me, so if IGN gives something a 10 out of 10, you instantly mean it's a 10 out of 10. No, that's somebody's opinion. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And again, with that as well specifically, IGN doesn't give it a 10 out of 10. The reviewer that was working for IGN at that time gave it a 10 out of 10. The hundreds of people in that company may not agree with that answer. I think Fix has actually touched on it perfectly without meaning to. Find a community that you can have these discussions with, because it's better. Those are the better sources of information, because you get those nuanced conversations. It's like, don't just take one person or three people at this point talking to a camera and be like, this is what we think, therefore it must be true. No, it's like, go find a community of people that you agree with, specifically our Discord, because it's the best one on the planet.
Best ever. Never been a Discord better.
Agreed.
And you can trust that.
You can trust that from us three right here. We would never lie to you specifically, who's watching this.
We're trustworthy, so trust us.
Yeah.
I think it's important, even when you're in a community and like you're having a discussion, not to dismiss another person's point of view just outright because it's different. You know, you process it, and then you also process like, where does maybe someone's opinion comes from the fact that they're a fanboy, and maybe then you disregard it. But like, it's always like a process of like, you have to actually sift through the information, go through it. Like, what's the point they're trying to make? What are they saying? What's their viewpoint? And you don't have to agree with any of it, or you can agree with some of it, or whatever it is. You can't just outright dismiss it just because you do not like the way it sounds.
Yeah.
If you did that, you shouldn't listen here, because I sound like an idiot 99% of the time.
Yeah, sometimes I just can't hear you, so it's fine.
I've tried this week. I don't know what's going on.
Good,
I'll be honest.
My main takeaway from this entire conversation that we're just having right now, which I don't know why it's gone on a weird tangent, but I love it, is it's very much a case of like, find the nuance in the arguments, the conversations. Is like, find that grain of truth and run with that, rather than being like, oh, no, this is gospel. You know what? This is fine. Don't go to one particular source for information. Find a way to get multiple sources to clarify things. It's the same with any, like, look at it as science. Like, science don't just go, this is the right answer. They go, right, let's find it. Let's get evidence to prove it. Find the evidence to prove it. Have conversations with people. I think we've lost the art of conversation.
Yes.
On the internet specifically,
100%.
but just in general. It's like, everyone's just like, I think this is true. I'm not having a discussion about it. This is true now. Don't worry about it. This is it. This is fact. Clouds taste like jelly. It's the truth. You can trust me on this.
Someone said it.
It's like,
that's
no,
the truth.
This is why I've been building a very long ladder to try and reach that cloud. I've been wanting some jelly. Yep.
Yeah. I'm not telling you which jelly it is. You just have to trust me that it is jelly.
Different clouds taste different? Or the cloud, like, it's a specific flavor of jelly.
But I can't tell you which. You have to, only you can know.
You have to experience
but you have to trust me to tell you that this is true. But yeah, no, go have conversations with people. Have more conversations. Just chat to people more. You know, get information from more places.
Do it. Quick piece of news to add to this week. You will see us all on Thursday for Ghost of Yotai State of Play. I say all of us, me. On Thursday, should be doing a reaction stream for that. It just got announced literally at 4:30, so I missed that. So yeah, should be reacting to that on the MXAM channel. I might try and get Crash there, but we'll see.
Probably, maybe. Thursday.
So he didn't hear that, Crash, but he said possibly.
By the time this podcast out, you'll know if he is on it or not.
Plug, and let's get out of here. Crash, we got to plug.
Podcast reviews. I haven't looked at them. I'm gonna assume 10 reviews.
10 you're assuming 10. Okay, I'm gonna go with split the difference and say 5.
Oh my god. No reviews.
Oh.
The last reviews from April 1st, all of April, all of May, nobody left a review. June, nobody left a review. We're in July. America, we had 4th of July not too long ago, and you guys didn't leave a review for 4th of July.
That's a good point. All that family you were around.
That's
actually a great point. You were around nans, granddads, sisters, brothers, cousins.
Fireworks were going off. You could have snatched someone's phone while a firework was going off and let a real quick review. Just 5 stars.
I mean,
I don't know.
In a video game. In the game.
Of course.
Teaspoon, what you got to plug?
I've talked about it enough already. The Discord, come hang out with us. The link is in the description for this episode on YouTube and on podcast services. Come hang out with all the wonderful community members. And Stead. No, I love Stead.
Yeah.
Stead's great.
Wow, Stead's cool.
Stead's fantastic. Stead, yeah, you're right. You know what?
Orange and Cookie Man.
And Orange and Cookie. You're right. You're right. No, yeah.
They don't speak for me.
You can
No, we
trust
do.
us, so
But you can trust us.
it's fine.
No. No, don't trust them anymore. Don't trust them. They just proved they're untrustworthy.
Yeah, patreon.com/MC Fixer right now is a cross between MC Fixer and MXAM. Go and support at any tier to keep this show on the road. We always need funding. It's something that we always need to be doing. We have got one episode of the ranking and it's a long one. It's our biggest one that we'll do of the 5 has been recorded. It is currently with the editor, so that should be with us soon. And yeah, man, just keep supporting. We appreciate every single person listening. We didn't really answer the question on the future of the podcast, so I think we'll re-ask it next week and we'll have a deeper conversation about it because I think it's a good one to have. But yeah, until then, we will love you. I'll leave you. See you later. Keep being amazing to one another, and good boys.